Yo.
True, but Rex looking very frazzled. Mako needing to hold on to this weapon. Backs away. Meteor similarly on the prowl, working his way through that defender spawn. Getting closer and closer. Mako just tucked here for the moment.
Right there.
But eventually the pinch is going to come through. Cam cleared out.
3 down.
Mako asleep at the wheel. Meteor collects one. The cage basically giving away their positions. T1 wanting to hound them down. Shot onto one, but Meteor finds the other. A 4K for him. One rifle surviving the round. Cash gone. T1 get up to map point.
It's 26 kills now for Meteor. And this is just expert awareness on his part. I mean, obviously, Flashback probably getting a little bit of a talking to about that.
I forgot to do my pick by the way.
And grabbing these guns at the end of the round is so devastating because that's going to only be 2 stingers that
and
Bane
now
and
it's
Free
locked,
can afford to buy. A Bulldog
fact.
for Mako.
But
No ults to speak
I
of
would
other than the
say
neural theft.
I have
The
DRX
Rolling Thunder
winning,
for stacks. He can send it right here.
and then
Looking for a punch, but now Rolling Thunder
G2TR
looks
is
to shove
like...
them back. Hyunmin able to dip out, freeing. Looks back through the door. Salvo's now starting to fly. Damage now
I
suffered
would
here
say
on the side of DRX,
G2,
quite
like
just
my
yet, but
brain
all 5
says
players in
G2, but
T1
my heart says
roped up here
TR,
in halls.
so...
It's a grab of the orb, and I think this is a good idea.
I think I'm gonna go
Back off
TR.
of this, try a different direction. You have made it very readable what you're doing here. Maybe if you can find a pick.
Yeah, let's go DRX
Insane.
TR. Because G2 were like...
Flash out, Hyunmin looking for the play. Gun down Izu.
I mean, they
Find
did
one
better
free here.
against
Covering fire.
against
Go ahead. This push
EDG
coming through.
than TR.
Somehow, some way, DRX. They managed to win it out. They can scoop up these weapons.
Yeah, 2-1,
The 2
and they
dead.
went to OT.
Minor amounts of
2.
cash. Still going to be a bit of a weaker buy as they try to push
One
this
burn.
into overtime, but they are persevering. And that's going to be a timeout called here from T1.
It's a good idea.
Yeah,
from
but
both
that
teams.
turned
DRX
out
there,
the fracture.
Just knowing that they can bait that Rolling Thunder out and just fall back. T1 so committed to this A hit. They weren't changing their mind no matter
Yeah,
what.
let's
Come hell or
go
high water, they were going to try to
DRX,
break through. Buzz goes in all on his own to try to create space. Gets shut down at the point of attack. The rest of the team crumbles behind. So DRX there, able to just get an early read on T1's positioning and lock down the A site. T1 here, a little bit concerning. We saw this on Haven when they played their very first time, where T1 had a lead and fumbled it, sent it into OT, had another lead in OT, had a 3v1 against Flashback, where he was able to clutch out to send it to another set of OT rounds. And then DRX ended up winning that Haven. So T1 looking to avoid that again here on Fracture, a map that has looked much improved today. This is a much better version so far, but I need to see T1 a bit more active on the map, and it looks like they're going to try and set up a B crunch. 3 up top, 2 down below. Whereas DRX, they're looking to get aggressive out of dish.
Curious, how quickly do they try to go for this? I mean, you see the pings covering that north side. Seems like, yeah, they're going to call for a full crunch. Solid enough understanding of where T1 is going to be. They actually shut them down. That's just going to be ult invested here. Steel Garden. Taking away their weapons. Space given up. Tripwire going to be cleared out here on the site. Meteor able to find one. Bane dead. Over towards that spawn side. Now set up. Retake needing to get started here, but Flashback already going to be taken down 3v5 as DRX desperately try to get this over into overtime. Hyunmin down low. Flash connect. Stack's going to be eliminated. Buzz with the shorty able to find Hyunmin freeing, taking down Buzz. The trade's coming back through, but still the disadvantage here for DRX. Salvos to clear some space, freeing to try to disrespect the damage. Pushes forward, but gets cut down. 13-11. T1 take down DRX on DRX's map pick of Fracture.
That is a statement win for this T1 team. Unbelievable that they're able to take this map from DRX.
And with Pearl on the horizon, the pressure's got to be mounting DRX, so they have something prepped. We're going to find out, but first the analyst as will break down all the action here from Fracture.
Face your death, cause you play a roulette with each step. I progress, no less. Go ahead and place your bets, cause we know where we at, we know we top tier. Cause all the hate that you bring, we know it stops here. I'm taking off like a rocket here, ain't stopping here. It's strange how they cannot see the future, but see profit here. Wait up, we gon' always win. Promise that that's not a promise, yeah, that is a threat. You know that I promise to bring the team commas. When the whole team win, that's when you flex. Win, and I'ma do it again. Watch me win, then watch me do it again.
Mika and Jen here with Autumn of T1. Congratulations on that first map. Now, this rivalry, this T1 and DRX rivalry again and again, do you feel that the victory against Trace Esports gave T1 some clarity, and do you feel that T1 finally gets that victory today?
감독님, DRX 상대로 상당히 좋은 모습을 보여주고 있는 T1인데요. 경기력이 아무래도 트레이스 e스포츠전 이후부터 확 살아난 것 같거든요. 직전 경기 승리가 이번에 있어서 도움이 많이 된 것 같은지, 그리고 DRX 상대로 오늘 드디어 승리를 가져갈 것 같다고 생각하시는지 궁금합니다.
네, 일단 트레이스 e스포츠전 때 승리한 거 덕분에 저희가 이제 패승하고 나서 이 흐름을 이어갈 수 있다는 선수들이 믿음이 있기 때문에 다들 자신감 있게 플레이하고 있어서 그런 게 확실히 오늘에도 이어져 있는 것 같고요. DRX가 잘하는 팀이어서 분명히 두 번째 맵도 힘들 거라 생각을 하기 때문에 그냥 잘해가지고 진짜 이번엔 이겼으면 좋겠습니다.
Yeah, after that win against Trace, we went from 0-1 to 1-1, and it really helped us create that winning momentum. But we can't really keep our guards down because DRX is a strong team, so we really need to keep our heads in the game and stay focused for the second map.
Thank you very much. 감사합니다 and good luck.
DRX, they are a strong team indeed, but it just wasn't strong enough for T1. I'm your hosting, so I'm back here with Kakuka and Mimi. That came down to the wire, but why did you think that it was T1 that closed it out?
I think T1 did a lot of things really well there. DRX is a team that is going to go for a lot of these early forward plays on defense with the Eurocomp. They were consistently punishing that, getting the first kill over and over again. It was 19-5 in first kills by the end, and then winning in these late round executes.
Yeah, exactly. It's not only the individuals showing, I think that also
the macro and the understanding on how to play with your opponent in the map and how to work with the space, how to react in position against the ultimates. There was a lot of things. It was a very toe-to-toe match. It could have gone to either of the teams, but I think that T1 deserves the win.
Yeah, especially after the start that they had as well, because it was all about DRX. We can't forget our HyperX reflex moment of the day, this 4K from Bane Mimi to kick things off.
Yeah, it was such a nice start for DRX. You thought this was going to be them running away with the game. And this guy, he's been really good this tournament for DRX. One of those players who's not a rookie, not a new addition, but I think both Bane and Flashback got a little underrated after DRX's rough year last year. But they've definitely been having their impact here at Masters Bangkok.
And also, because we're speaking about the Teco, Hyungmin going on the Yoru, that there's so many other questions, but this play, even with just the classic, is beautiful to see. It wasn't enough though, but it was a good start for them in the map. Actually, at some point, what was it, like 5-6-1?
Yeah, Ben was really good individually, but I did take issue with some of the macro on their defensive side, with oftentimes playing the initiators away from the Yoru on one side of the map, trying to hard anchor. This, to me, felt like a DRX. It was a little out of sorts and didn't look super practiced on this fracture.
Yeah, but T1, they had to bounce back, like you said, 6-2 down. There was some timeouts called as well, but eventually, just before the side switch, they found their groove.
So this one is actually right after the timeout, and we're going deeper into the round because we want to talk about the proactivity coming from the defense on the side of T1. DRX is playing with the Rolling Thunder, as we see in available right now, so they decide to leave the side empty, to just work for the retake that was working for them and just trying to stop them when they were already coming. So a great movement and understanding for them. Also, Bus just breaking the tripwire to just create a lot of chaos and put in question what DRX is doing. Not only that, at some point when the execute starts, that's the cue for Meteor to go on the push from the back. This was literally perfectly played from T1.
And this is showing a really high-level understanding of how your opponent likes to be played. They have never seen this comp before, but across all of DRX's matches, they have a tendency to go for an early idea with the first wave of util, then reset, and they're very often re-hitting into that same site late, honestly, across all of their maps. T1 did a great job of being proactive on pushing through flanks, figuring out where DRX was going to be executing, and having fast flanks exactly like that round, ready to go.
And Meteor is the guy that we spoke about, you know, the experience, the veterancy, knowing what to do on this stage. Kakuka, I think he showed it all.
Yeah, absolutely. In the round that we just saw, also when he plays on the attack, I feel like he was a little bit exposed when playing against Vitality, and he has fixed so many of those small mistakes. But on the other side, we also need to speak about Free and how he was using his utility very, very well, and the impact that he was having in most of the rounds.
For T1, though, it's great to see the veterans get going. Both Meteor and Buzz stepping up to massive proportions in that game. Buzz against his former team, and Meteor trying to come back to a global and win another trophy for Korea.
The question is, can they close this out as we head to Pearl? Because we haven't seen DRX's Pearl, and out of all the times they played against each other this year in that final as well, we never saw it. So what can we expect out of this Pearl?
I'd expect like the same comp that they've been running, right? With the Yoru, with the Teo, with the Cypher. But it is weird because this is now the 7th and final map of the pool that DRX is going to be showing at Bangkok.
Yeah, exactly. And the fracture didn't go that well, but hey, it was very close up at the end. And I want to see if they can also manage to pull that composition, or maybe even something different.
But now let's hear from Coach Termi and see what he had to say ahead of map 2.
Hey guys, Mika and Jen here, back now with Termi of DRX. Now Termi, you've mentioned in previous press conferences how nerves did affect the team in the previous matchup. I'm wondering, is that a factor now, especially since it's T1 and this is a team that you're very familiar with?
감독님, 지난번 경기 이후에 기자회견에서 선수들의 긴장감에 대해서 좀 얘기를 하셨는데 오늘 선수들이 어느 정도 긴장한 것 같으신가요? 좀 아무래도 익숙한 상대를 만나고 있잖아요.
저번 경기 때 조금 긴장한 모습들이 몇 번 있었어서 오늘은 좀 최대한 편하게 게임을 하자고 했고, 사실 1맵 같은 경우는 굉장히 선수들이 지금 뭐 스크림 하듯이 편하게 하고 있고요. 뭐 결과에 상관없이 편하게 하고 있는데 뭐 몇 번의 실수로 인해서 졌다고 생각하기 때문에 그런 거에서는 훨씬 더 많은 발전을 했다고 생각하고 있습니다.
You really talked about coming into today's matchup, how to be comfortable on stage and not feel the jitters. And I don't think there was a lot of nerves that affected how map 1 played out. They've been playing it really well, and they've been playing their game as we do in scrims. So yeah, going into the second map even, I'm pretty sure that there won't be nerves affecting the result of the game. So I am confident in my players.
Termi, thank you very much for your time and best of luck.
And I wonder if they're confident in this comp that they're bringing as well. What do you guys make of this?
Interesting. They're playing the Vice here. They've been very committed to the Cypher throughout pretty much every map for DRX. But I think Vice is incredibly strong right now, especially against a double dive comp.
Moving away from the Sova, moving away from the Killjoy into the Fade. Like, they're not going to have that that much feeling of comfortability when it comes to this, but I want to see if they can actually make it work in every single map, as Mimi was saying, changing so many things in such little time.
If this is the map that takes T1 to playoffs, though, there's no more T1 comp than a double duelist Neon Yoru to make it happen. So excited to watch him play it.
I cannot wait to see it as well, because for DRX, Achilles and Paperton, they have to win here if they want to make it to playoffs.
They absolutely do. Can they deliver a 3-map banger series with Haven, with Meteor on that ISO to try to close this out, or will T1 make quick work of them? We're about to find out as we get ready to jump into Pearl.
There are some awesome things going on here from DRX's side coming into this Pearl. You had to know this had been the map that they banned when they played a previous best of 3 coming into the upper semis. You had to know kind of what you were coming up against as you got to see T1 run all over G2 in the lower finals on this map. It's very execute heavy. A lot of the things that they're going to do are going to be based off that Neon Yoru combo. Hyunmin, though, taking a lot of damage.
They continue to swing. Izu just playing forward is going to just absolutely devastate them. 3 kills found, fast tracking that dimensional drift on this map when you're going up against a double duelist. Not something that you want to be going through. Flashback just eating the bone here for he and Mako. There's only one option, of course, here, and that's to fight their way out. For the moment, getting ready to join back in, but everyone from T1 clustered up here around the spike, around the box. Tuck away on the one, Mako. Huge headshot. Knocks out Stacks. Pop flash going to be dodged, but as they all swing back together, Mako hits the floor, flashback, low on HP. Just get whittled away at as Sylvan collects 2, and T1 take the lead in pistols, take the lead on Pearl.
Izu's been so good these last couple of days, man. He has really been on point and not slowing down here at all on Pearl. Disgusting. Just holds it down, and they walk right into it. They line up for him. It's a nice shot by Mako, but the damage was already done. I mean, this is going to be really tough if somebody like Izu just goes on a tear on this Yoru on this map. Obviously, on this attacker side, the Vice, it's going to be a little harder to find some of that impact to slow down those double duelists. And that's something that DRX really is going to have to be aware of.
Ping gets 1. Should know that the rest of the team is going to be behind this, just given that they have no money, no economy. Maybe try to slow up. It's going to be disrespected. They push forward. Still been able to find another Meteor. Out of the flank. Mo's down 3. She's back up through the smoke and even finds the 4th, despite being low on health. Flawless anti-eco from T1.
They're just so ready for this. Get a little bit of contact, fall back behind the site, let Meteor swing in and do what he was doing on Fracture. Knock people down from the sides. Nice hold there from Sylvan, gets out with just a lick of health left. And then Meteor, full flash on the 3rd while he was full flashed up. Gets the 4th in there as well. So you're gonna be carrying over all of those guns, a couple Bulldogs, an Outlaw, Guardian. Full armors though, having to be bought up by DRX, having to buy down to a Guardian because of that Outlaw being in play. That drone, I don't think got the... Ooh, nice shot by Hyunmin. What a swing.
Yeah, just swinging out, able to find the headshot. Izu put on the floor. Outlaw now lost. Solid advantage.
They were looking for early aggression. We're DRX, and they found it, and they bested it.
Meteor's repositioned already. Looks like Buzz being called across the map. Try to join in, perhaps. Meteor just with a Spectre here. Odds certainly are stacked against him. Gets himself tucked here alongside the screen. Nano at the ready. That's going to be cleared out of the smoke. Looks for the push up, but ends up getting fully flashed out. Hyunmin able to go ahead and collect the 2nd. Site now opened up. Rotation at the beginning here for T1. Buzz on the swing. Just trying to find a timing, but ends up getting cut down and Makes things harder for the two remaining players here on his squad.
Try to find some value now. That's Stax and Sylvan. Sylvan's going to go on a walkabout. That Vice wall is going to be there in his face and make things even more difficult. Nice shot by Stax.
Snappy one. There's a lot more of that, though. Pushes out here onto that walkway, and it's not ready for Bane over at long. Ends up falling down, and Mako, solid one tap. Puts down Sylvan. DRX get themselves on the board, not allowing for that bonus conversion to come through, and only lose out on one player.
Yeah, this is a really nice round for DRX, and now I'm going to be curious to see if they're going to start putting a lot more pressure towards the B side of the map. It's a lot harder for a solo Killjoy to lock this site down than a Vice. So if I'm DRX, I'm going to test Meteor on that site. I know he's been good today. I know he's been fired up. But just in terms of util that's going to be available to slow down B executes, I think it's a really good option, especially before T1 is able to get into an operator, potentially. We'll see Meteor grab those from time to time. For now, DRX showing a little bit of presence, making sure that that angle where Izu was pushed up earlier is cleared. But look at this setup.
Oh, Youngman gonna try to go for the grab here. Relay bolt gonna be sent out. They back off the angle though, and Bane. Low down Buzz, Izu at the same time, just taking some added fire woven into the back lines. Puts him to 16. Once again, solid advantage for DRX off the top of the round. Once again, start cutting their way across towards B.
Love this. You've already drawn out a lot of players. TP's trying to make its way over a little bit further to help the rotations, but Meteor's going to be under a lot of pressure. There's a little bit of util, has the one nano there and one at the back. Get the first one baited out.
Versus Ford trying to disrespect his own nano, but here's a swing out from Hall. Sylvan there. Provides some cover, takes out Gunman, but still end up losing on Meteor. Izu catching a glimpse there for a brief moment, but cannot collect the kill. Bane staying alive. Swing the back Halls, however, Mako not ready for it. As they all get massacred, freeing just now arriving. Two players, close angles. Spike not planted. Needs to clear it all out, and he can't find one. Sylvan, big round from him. Gets 3. It's T1. Maintain the lead, maintain the advantage.
Yeah, Meteor buys just enough time here. Disrespects his own nano. This is a great opening pick for the side of DRX. Flashback finds that kill on a Meteor off the back of the fade util. But then Izu with 16 health. Best Mako in Halls. And that was the angle that DRX really needed to break open if they were going to get through onto that site, because T1 was rushing to flood through to deny the plant.
Thank you.
Because Izu wins that battle, they're able to do so. Let's see what got in store for us. It is a stinger for Gunman. Does have his ult though. Could send that through. You can see Meteor playing way further back, anticipating this ult coming in. Doesn't want to deal with any of this. Does pop both nanos. Gunman's going to be very aware of that.
Sees a glimpse there of Meteor. Sylvan, however, also reinforcing that spot. They'll be forced away by the salvos for the moment. Gunman set up, pushing forward, maybe about to make contact here against two players. Just has that stinger, so doesn't want to go for the peek. Needs to try to see if he can get somebody to swing into him.
Cosmic Divide at the ready here for T1.
Push coming in, finds the first, stacks the fall. Bit of damage here on Izu, but the time he's going to be found as Izu swings in before that flash can connect. It's just a glimpse, that's more than enough. Bane pushing out through the Cosmic Divide, finding one, traded. There's the fake out, push into the smoke. Izu collecting another. 2v2, top of the spike, the time getting away from them here. Freeing, catching a glimpse there for a brief moment, tucks back through Halls, sends out the salvos, delaying and ensuring their demise. They'll look to escape, cannot, but nor can Izu. DRX fight back, only one player surviving, Cash not in the greatest spot, but they keep it close.
They're doing good to get these round wins. This is exactly what I'm hoping to see a bit more of from DRX. Punish the lack of defense that T1 is going to be able to set up on that B site. Obviously, you have the dimensional drift. It makes it a lot easier to get that info. T1 there has to play retake pretty much the whole way. Izu there with a really nice fake out. That got him a free kill on the back hall site, but now you're, like you were talking about, Money's getting a little bit desperate for both sides. T1 going to invest a little bit in this round, but not much. Trying to save up for a future expenditure. It's going to be the Armageddon for freeing. Let's see how they want to use that. Gunman's going to tuck in the corner. A lot of spam coming through.
There.
With those classics.
Continuing to end the blink of an eye. For the moment, can have 4 players there from T1. Izu pushed forward, does have that gate crash just outside of sewer.
Not ready yet.
Look at all that util. Killjoy slotted over to A now, anticipating that this might be the tendency of DRX. They've gone B a couple times. Thinking about trying something different. How well can you dodge this Armageddon? See how freeing wants to use it.
Recon does not get cleared. Mako, he's set in Astral form. That gets a ping reveal to all of them, but Meteor's still going to be taken down off the rip as Freeing's able to find the kill. Gunman with the pop flash here, into the back, does not find it. Sax, however, with a nice headshot, puts down the enemy Yoru. Love to collect the weapon, but now flashback here on the flank. Can't quite find that kill, but Mako will. Turn sights to Art. DRX will tie things up at 3-3.
Yeah, the ultimates invested here. Kind of take that as T1. And you're on a weaker buy. There's the operator. I think it's going to be going into Izu's hands for the side of T1. We'll see what they want to do with that. You got a couple players that can absolutely pop off with that sniper rifle. The combo there, the nightfall, the pings reveal the presence of the players, and they just swarm in, start knocking them down. Oh, got one through the smoke there even. Nicely done by DRX. Able to stabilize that economy a little bit now. Meanwhile, T1 going all in here, trying to see if they can turn this half around. They're going to slot over a couple extra players, Buzz and Sylvan. Going to be helping out Meteor a bit on this B site. Stack's already rotating over as well. So they've got a decent read that this is going to be a big hit. Armageddon, though, going to force Buzz out.
Jumps him back, disconnects over towards Stacks. Next 3 rounds, gets himself up top here as quickly as possible. Meteor going to take it out, but Buzz go ahead and equalize. Gunman will fall. Goes for the re-peek though. Freeing kind of losing the plot. Somehow Buzz comes away with another. 3 kills for him, but now just down to Izu.
You are divided.
Cosmic Divide even going to be invested here. Thinking about it, waiting, wanting to try to go for timing here perhaps. To peek the halls, nothing spotted.
Cutting through.
Looks like it might just be quick exit, maybe one more peek down below into the gate crash to save this operator, because T1 does not have the catch behind to get themselves another.
Certainly not much he can do at this point, so just going to TP out, but really, really well done by DRX. Able to use that Armageddon to clear back halls, to get Hyunmin in there safely, gets a kill along the way. Buzz does his damnedest to re-clear that space. He swings in there, finds 3, almost breaks things open for T1 on that Neon. But instead, it is going to be DRX finding a 4th round. And they need to string rounds together here on this attacker side. This T1 comp very much built for their attacker side. We'll get to that when we get there. A lot of ults to think about as T1 as well. Kind of curious. This might be the moment for a timeout. Try to dial up one of those tricky plays that they've got in the back pocket. Can catch you out, maybe grab a Hunter's Fury, have the overdrive in play as well. Lockdown is there, but with Tejo in play, you know,
Yeah.
it's there to bait out salvos.
Pretty quickly nullified. Which does lend to the quandary, let's say. T1 continuing to use, the Killjoy here instead of that Vice, which Meteor looked very good on Fracture.
Sure.
Because you know that Freeing, he's not going to play something different.
Yeah. I mean, in my mind, it's probably just a little bit more of an attacker-sided methodology in a way, because you do have those nanos for post-plant. I mean, obviously, yeah, you could argue the Razor Vines, and I tend to agree with you. I'm kind of grasping at straws to really sort of put together a better theory. But maybe I think for Meteor, though, in general, like when he's at his best is when he's able to play off of the info utility with the Cypher, with the Killjoy. Even though he, yes, did look very good on the Vice finally, I think, generally he's more well known for his Killjoy Cypher play. He can lean a little bit more into that comfort as well. But yeah, certainly when you're going against a Tejo, dude.
Yeah. Well, DRX in the lead. 3 rounds consecutively here for them, T1. The attempt we had. Still that operator recovered in hand. Quick little fake TP out. Izu just staying tucked here for the moment. Plethora of ultimates available. Buzz as well with that overdrive. Could absolutely start tearing people limb from limb.
Stacks be under a little pressure. Just a one and done position, but stealth drone there. Meteor tries to play ahead of it. Can't find the
that
shot.
Timing does get suppressed. Forced back away. The Nano gets cleared out.
Now you've got a great read on this as T1. If you can gum them up right at the choke point, Stacks might be able to hit a great Hunter's Fury.
Third set up. Hyunmin TP's forward, gets himself here onto the site, sprays down into the smoke, but it's going to be Meteor who comes out on top. Buzz now, the overdrive in play. The pitch coming through from Art. Mako able to find one. Buzz falls down to 10 health. Marked out, looks for flashback, only gets a smattering of damage. Cannot find that kill. Lockdown going to be destroyed, of course, quickly nullified. All Freeing has to do is save the salvos for that. 3v4. Op needing to find value, and value has been found. Mako going to be taken down as Stacks looks for a little bit more. Izu gets a second.
Ooh.
Escapes into the dimensional drift. Narrowly escaping, just trying to buy some time as Meteor with that Vandal. Looks to try to prevent this spike plant. 7 seconds remaining. Flashback finding Meteor. Rotates around towards back sight. Izu finds a third, and he gets the fourth. The monstrous Red Bull clutches Izu. Moment over moment. Makes every correct call and ties it at 4-4.
And by the slimmest of margins with the timing on the dimensional drift, he's able to get out. This looked so good for DRX. I loved the patience, trying to wait out those ultimates, trying to get T1 to get into bad positions, and it works a treat. But then Izu shows up with the operator, knocks a couple down, dimensional drifts hell out of there, and then comes through with a crazy clutch. Unbelievable. Izu has been absolutely electric.
Quick jump peek there. Mako, seeing the operator, has to just back away. Can't try to challenge, can't try to lurk forward on that angle anymore.
And you're struggling to find information on right now is DRX. Haven't seen much on the map, but they're going to use the dimensional drift instead to make sure that they can figure this out. Backpedal from Stacks and Meteor on site.
This is one. Hyunmin just trying to bring in harass here. Gets himself tucked away at dugout. Meteor forward into the smoke. Freeing pushes up, is able to find him. Buzz trying to rotate around, but Flashback still able to find him, but it's not quite ready for Sylvan. Just find the kill. Stacks swinging in towards Secret. Hyunmin going to be taken down. 3v3, the wide swing, but Stacks wise to it. Cuts down Bane, Freeing only 6 HP. A lot now on the shoulders of Mako, and they're still 23 seconds away from those salvos.
Couple flashes to push this angle.
Grab well, but it's being blocked. They're just holding for the defuse. The swing out, Freeing will be good for one, but cannot bail them out. T1 will get the defuse. Will get the operator off the floor, and they will get themselves back into the lead.
Stacks does such a nice job in this round, holding the back lines. Freeing there, nice little crouch spam. Meteor not quite ready for it. Flashback catches Buzz, and then Sylvan's right there to trade. And these two wins here on the back of the site are basically what wins T1 that round. Stacks doing a really nice job holding the line. Sylvan, a fantastic round for him as well. Great awareness on the map. Seems like the comms starting to come through for T1. Starting to look a little bit better, and you can see the frustration from Bane. They're really starting to feel that pressure. Obviously, this is a team that came out of the region at #1. They beat this team across the stage from them to get here.
Sent them to the lowers, met them in the grand finals, beat them again there. 7 times these teams have clashed. Yes, a couple of those off-season tournaments,
Sure.
best of ones. How much do you want to count that? Kind of up to you, but it's always gone the way of DRX. And T1 look to change that here today.
Well, and I think this just goes to show that T1 put this team together because it has experience, because it has that ability to get you deeper into tournaments. And we've already seen it a little bit in Pacific. We might be seeing it here again today. And to think about how important this would be to this T1 organization to be the first time that they've made it to playoffs at an international event.
But also after having just brought Sylvan back into the fold.
Correct.
Was
It's
gone
crazy.
for their playoff run and kickoff, was gone for their opening match. They plug him back in, and so far this series, he has been fantastic.
Oh, this is
26 assists on that fracture map, on that Brimstone, and right now, in the second fragging position, just 1 kill behind Izu.
Let's see if Izu can find the early pick. Double stack for DRX. Spike here as well, though. He can't
He
TP
can't
out.
escape. Cannot get away. Great little trap set up there from DRX. They play off it beautifully, but T1 quick to reply, quick to shift positions.
And that's an op picked up for this weaker buy, too. If they can somehow get a plant down on B, it is going to be so difficult for T1 to root this out without a really good flank. Is that Armageddon again?
Yep, there's the Armageddon trying to force support. Sylvan pushing up into the smoke. Baited by the fake out. Top of the Prowler, the Haunt as well. Just looking to try to flush him out. Eventually they will be able to do so. Buzz able to hold for one. Slides back across. Relocates, but position has decently been tracked, but he still is able to stay alive as Meteor and Stacks come to the rescue. So you might have trapped Izu, but you're trapped in here with me. With Meteor! And they just get shoved into the wood chipper.
This is absolutely bonkers stuff. DRX has a great execute here. They get the early pick. They smother Sylvan out with a combo of utility, the salvos to force him out of that position, and Buzz just immediately retakes that space. That's such heads-up play from Buzz. That's something that Vitality does quite well as well. So I think Buzz might have had that in the back of his mind. Gives DRX fits. You know, they think they've got that angle cleared, and if you can get there without them knowing, they're not going to recheck it. Very heads-up play from Buzz.
The check, Prowler. Again, going to be cleared out. They'll have heard that shorty. They should know that there's an operator behind it.
Well, you say that, but Buzz usually has one as well, so.
Very true. Go either way. Just waiting for that to dissipate. He's able to trade one back, so Bane on the floor, Izu gone. Still another Julius here, available for the side of T1, but now he's on his lonesome here on this side. Is that relay bolt not going to be fast enough, freeing just a bit quicker. Breaks things open here on B, the spike still being ushered across Meteor. Just keeping it quiet here for now. He and Stack slowly creeping forward, encroaching on this position. Two players here at back hall. Two players pushing up from long. Gunman, the first to fall. Meteor able to find one. Stacks continue to break it open. This is round.
Down, B.
Once again, looks to get away from T1. Flashback now.
Rip and tear.
Has to do it all. 13 seconds remaining. Meteor stuck in position. Shock dart lobbed in. Plan comes through, but Stacks just swings out. 3 HP, no problem. T1 will move up 7-4.
This is a wild round. The spike drops over on A. That leads to T1 shifting their weight over to that side of the map. And that kind of leaves the players that are over on B on an island, because DRX has snuck so far up without anybody on T1 being the wiser. So then Spike gets picked up by Mako after he gets the trade onto Izu. They book it back over to the B site, but it's a great read from Meteor and Stacks. They're able to get there just in time before the spike arrives and shut a couple players down. Freeing does a great job breaking this open, but then they're just not quite ready. The timing is just a little bit faster than they anticipated. Fantastic calling from Stacks here. Great recognition. I know Buzz is, okay, yeah.
Upset at first into elation. As now we go into the last round of the half. DRX looking to try to get themselves into a 7-5 position. Glass cannon for flashback. So all these players starting to inch forward. Izu tucking back behind the screens, eating an immense amount of damage. That's going to force him to go ahead and take that gate crash across, but he's still nearby. They might suspect that he's a little bit further off than he is. We'll have to just wait and see for now. Flash is getting ready to pop through. Fake outs go flying. Bane, the first to fall, the push into the smoke. Sylvan able to find another. Gun barrel spotted there. Anticipating the push out. Gunman able to find easier. Meteor Sylvan going to be taking down the bus. Still here. Still fragging. Still fighting kills. As Stacks dives in to get the finisher. 8-4. T1 out in front of the half.
That is an unbelievable half there for T1. Those floods were insane, but we're going to take a short break, guys. Another half of Pearl coming up.
Red Bull gives you wings.
We are back and about to go into the second half this time. T1 coming in with a monstrous advantage. 8-4 on their map pick of Pearl after DRX get that side selection. Now they shift to the attack. This is potentially where we're really going to see this double duelist composition come alive even more so than it already has.
Absolutely. I mean, again, my eyes go right to flashback to the Vice. I like the composition change up from DRX. A lot of what T1 likes to do on this side of the map is do things like throw up the fast lane, set up that to cover where the TP is actually landing so that Izu can get in safely, and then they'll do things like double swing hauls from both sides. Buzz will run to the other side. They'll use smokes to cut off the entries from Link and from Heaven, and then they'll smother you out of halls. Stuff like that is what T1 can do here. But if you have that Vice wall, if you have that Vice utility to slow it down to prevent it from really finding that coordination and that speed that T1's going to want to play at, this could be a good half for DRX, and it has to be if they're going to keep their tournament lives alive.
Slow to start. 3 players here from DRX to try to hold this back. Meteor waiting for a late linger. Stealth drone chasing forward, just seeing the turret here for the moment, but not go far enough to actually identify that killjoy. Buzz
exactly what I'm talking
sliding
about.
in, yep, running in alongside Izu. Making sure that there's no one here in halls. So Meteor gets ready to try to go on this flank. Disrupt the efforts of DRX. Minor delays there from the salvos. The plant can now come through. Stack sticks it, bring down to 41. Meteor unable to find the shot there. Flashback, however, going to be taking down Sylvan as he tries to get himself over in towards that connector. Stack's firing back for one. Buzz now going to be taking down the Hall's position. A little bit weaker, but they line up for Izu. He mows him down with a frenzy. Flashback swoops in, is able to find that one, but now finds himself in a 1v2. No, both positions. Gets up over top here of the screen. Has to tuck back. In which is 18 HP. It has to be clean. It has to be one taps. You got Meteor on the opposite side. Safe here on the corner. Gets off here for the half, is trying to bait him forward, goes for the stick. Meteor tries to run him down and will. 3-1 in pistols, T1. Look to bring this series to a swift conclusion.
DRX, I don't mind what they do in this round at the beginning. They understand the tendencies of this T1 team on this map. They've done their study, they've done their prep. They're playing for retake on B. If it's going to be that B hit.
It's only a matter of time. When Stack starts famosing, you better run for the damn hills.
But DRX, man, good reads, but the execution just isn't there. T1 is just out-fragging them in some of these moments. Speaking of,
Meteor looking for more and is able to find a second kill.
Anyone else?
And that's just the one ghost behind. Everybody else has got firepower. Everybody else has got rifles. Bane can make this a little bit more costly. It's good for one. This Vandal, Guardian, the Bulldog all look to be carried forward. A splashback. Come away with another elimination. Sylvan, timing. No, it's going to be Buzz over towards Secret to finish the job. To have a bit of fun. T1 get up to double digits here at their bonus.
I mean, they're just so confident right now as T1. So clean. Everything is clicking for them. Coordination starting to be much better than we've seen all year. And this DRX squad may be crumbling after such a good start to the year. Finally able to lift that Pacific trophy. You could see what it meant to those players, but here T1 may be getting their revenge. 10-4 now, a lot to do. Hyunmin watching that angle, got a brief glimpse. TP's back. Meteor trying to maintain full control of mid. The rest of his team gonna go on a walkabout. Meteor's in trouble. He just got spotted by that Prowler.
Destroyed.
Freeing finding a nice one. Meteor going to be taken down as well. Whittled away at down to 45. Still looking for a timing. Still finding it for 2 kills. Ow. Hyunmin Frame both going to be dead. The stun there, but Flashback still able to stabilize for that one. But Buzz swings the corner. And suddenly the player advantage is right back into the hands of T1.
Spike planted.
Just the confidence to swing there. Unbelievable.
Getting the bonus conversion from here would be absolutely back-breaking for DRX. They need to somehow bring this back into their favor, but I'm not sure how you do so. Stax is already out at long. He's got a Hunter's Fury online. Reveal on the 2, but Buzz holds the line. Shuts down his former teammate, his former IGL. And that sends Bane packing. Desperately trying to hold on to this weapon. Buzz on the hunt, sprinting forward. Looking for the kill, don't think he'll find it. Sylvan just might, but either way, T1. 11-4. Damn near everything robbed away from DRX.
It's just, he went for the fake clone play. He walked right past the Vice utility. That is unbelievable, Izu. That's why they didn't expect him in that corner. Absolutely. Just 9,000 IQ there from Izu. What a play. I mean, T1 has got everything going for them, and they're still coming up with strats and ideas like that. And it's gonna bring out a timeout from DRX.
It has to.
Absolutely.
One rifle behind, what is the call made? Do you force, try to stop T1 from getting up to that map point? Do you go for the weaker buy, ensure that you have money, then try to start a massive 8-round streak to get into overtime, something that you could not do on that first map of Fracture?
It's hard to imagine a world where that happens. Absolutely, the players on DRX are capable, but it's going to come down to a lot of things because they're getting beat up on a lot of different aspects. You know, on Fracture, they were constantly playing with a man down. They lost so many of those first bloods. Here on Pearl, frankly, they were doing a decent job of getting those first bloods and then just getting outgunned in odd man situations where they had the advantage. It's like everything they've tried just has run into a brick wall because this T1 team showed up today and showed that they have that veteran presence. They have that big stage experience. They have that playoff experience with Stax and Buzz in particular. Meteor as well, of course. So there is potentially sort of an experience factor. Izu trying to make his way through.
Checking things out. Comes out of the dimensional drift. Alone in the halls is Flashback. Meteor on the lurk, finds the timing on to Freeing. Just has no idea. Watch it towards call. The cut across, easy with a peek. Flashback gonna take it down. TP's forward. Bane stunned up. He's knocked out of the park. As Hyunmin cannot find anything. A flawless round. T1 are up to match point. 1 round from their first playoff on this international stage.
They're just in cruise control. Izu is so good on this Yoru. He's all over the place there. Uses that dimensional drift to get into an awkward spot, but sees that it's clear. That opens up a little bit of room for Meteor to move in and find that first pick. Then Izu TP's into the back and just knocks him away, swats him. And here you go. Some hope, maybe, for DRX to try to get back into this, but at this point, you have to feel it's all but over, and all this A pressure may just be a bit of a fake for T1. TP out, Meteor against Bane, spots him out and gets the kill through the box.
A devastating start. Gunman trying desperately to track that Neon, but cannot. Slinks in towards Flowers. Meteor continues to scale forward, taking some space. Hunter's Fury now coming through. Hyunmin forced to gate crash away out to safety. Quick cancel from Stax, realizing that he has the spike. Pop on the fake, Meteor does get gunned down. Izu, however, able to answer one back here alongside Buzz. Weapons gonna be taken away here. Stax, however, sliding forward, tucked away into the cup. He still has that Vandal. Sylvan out at main, having his gun. The push out of the smoke, weapons recovered. It's gonna be Stax who's able to find it. It's Mako. Needs to go big, or he's gonna go home. 1v2, they're out in front, but he can't find any of them! 13-4, T1 get their first ever victory over DRX!
Damn.
Experience reigns supreme on this day as they qualify into the playoffs here at Masters Bangkok. 1,175 days since Stax and Buzz as a duo were eliminated from a group stage back at Champs 21. And today, it will not happen again.
It's absolutely unbelievable. This team just ramps up in tournaments. They always look a little slow to start, and they just get better and better and better. And it's that experience that you're talking about, Achilleos, coming through. And you can see the emotion here. These players know each other. They're in group chats with each other. They're friends. And on today, they had to be enemies, and someone had to go through in this Korea versus Korea battle. And what a comeback here for Sylvan. Gotta give him a shout out. He gets put on the bench. He says, okay, I get it. I wasn't playing my best. He comes in here today, and he absolutely smashes it.
Ends up being the second fragger there behind Izu, 15, 8, and 10. A fantastic performance from Sylvan as well as the squad as they're able to get the banner out a little bit faster today. But this is the T1 that was promised. This is the T1 that we were anticipating as we saw this roster forged during the offseason, as we saw them take trophies during the offseason. And if they can continue like this for the rest of the teams at this tournament, you better watch the hell out.
Everybody watching this today got a lot more scared over the last 2 days of this T1 team because of how good they've been. But this is the Usurpers. DRX has been the king of Korea for so long. This T1 team was put together to stage that coup, and here in Masters Bangkok, they have succeeded.
And while noting Stax and Buzz, how long it's been for them to miss out, that of course applies to DRX as an organization. First time getting grouped since that Champs 21, where it all really began, where this tournament, this esport that we all love so very dearly, came together for the first time. And it's gonna be a bittersweet pill to swallow there for DRX.
Still though, you have to be so excited for DRX this year with what they've been able to do with putting this new roster together, the ideas that they've come in with, freeing on the Taeho, Hyunmin on whatever duelist it is. They have looked so good. Some work to do now, of course, coming into stage 1, but everybody is going to be afraid of that DRX team in Pacific because they are absolutely disgusting when they're at their best. But today they were not. At T1 certainly was.
Yeah, just across the board, fantastic performances from everybody here on the side of T1. As good Lord Izu getting away with it.
I love that he tried the fake Yoru. It didn't matter, nobody saw it, but he got through that razor vine. That was the big part of it.
They didn't know that he was going to be there. Didn't hear a gate crash. No need for a reaction. You can see what it means here to the players. Izu in his own right has been such an emotional player. That first loss he experienced at kickoff at 23. We saw the tears shed there. Now he is elated. What a performance from T1. We'll see more of them in the playoffs. But for now, we'll get ready to hear from one of our winners in our Verizon post-match interview. We've got Jen standing by with none other than Glass.
สวัสดีครับแหมกลับมาอีกครั้งหนึ่งนะครับผมแล้ววันนี้ผมเองก็มาอยู่กับบัสจาก T1 พร้อมกับเจนลีด้วยนะครับผมคำถามแรกเลยจะเข้าเรื่องเลยนะครับผมเชื่อว่าทุกคนอยากรู้เหมือนกันนั่นก็คือคุณรู้สึกยังไงบ้างในการชนะทีมเก่าตัวเองนะครับผม First of all Oh, okay. It's already spicy. It's going to be a little spicy. But first of all, congratulations. Let's get into the question. How do you feel about, being able to achieve this victory against your former team, DRX?
바드 선수 승리 축하드리고요. 먼저 친정팀 DRX를 집으로 보내면서 T1이 이렇게 플레이오프에 진출하게 됐는데 기분이 남다를 것 같거든요. 어떤가요?
일단은 이기게 돼서 너무 기쁘고 그 전에 DRX한테 중요한 곳에서 2번 진 것 때문에 더욱더 이기고 싶었는데 그래서 더 기쁜 것 같고요. 또 질 때는 뭐 너무 밉기도 하고 또 너무 축하하는 마음이었지만 지금 이렇게 와서 또 이기니까 너무 좋으면서도 또 탈락시키게 돼서 좀 마음이 한켠으로는 조금 불편한 것 같아요.
Yeah, I'm super happy about this win, but a little bit sad to send the fellow Korean team home. I mean, we lost to them twice this year when it mattered, and to be able to get that revenge and come out on top this time around, obviously it feels good. And when we lost to DRX, I was happy for them for the win too, but I was a little bit angry as well, so it was a little bit of mixed emotion here and there. And picking up this win, it kind of feels the same.
Awesome สำหรับคำตอบนะครับผมรู้สึกว่าการที่ชนะ DRX ได้เนี่ยยังไงเราก็รู้สึกดีแล้วแต่ในขณะเดียวกันก็สงสารนะครับแล้วก็เสียดายที่ต้องเป็นคนที่ส่งทีมเพื่อนกันเองนะจากเกาหลีกลับบ้านแต่ในขณะเดียวกันเนี่ยเราก็แพ้ DRX มา2แมตช์แล้วเหมือนกัน2เกมแล้วเหมือนกันในอดีตจึงทำให้รู้สึกว่าแบบมันก็เป็นการแก้แค้นที่ยอดเยี่ยมเหมือนกันสำหรับเรานะครับท้ายที่สุดมันเป็นความรู้สึกที่มันผสมผสานกันมากกว่าทั้งดีใจและเสียใจในขณะเดียวกันครับผมแต่สำหรับคำถามต่อมานะครับอยากรู้เหมือนกันครับในฐานะที่เราเป็นทีม Pacific ทีมสุดท้ายที่เหลืออยู่เนี่ยเขามั่นใจขนาดไหนที่จะพาชื่อเสียงของทีม Pacific ของเรานะครับโซนของเราไปได้ไกลครับผม And for the next question I would love to ask you because right now you are technically the only team keeping the Pacific spirit alive in Masters Bangkok. I would love to know how confident you are in being the representatives of the APAC region and how confident are you in performing in Masters Bangkok?
이렇게 되면서 퍼시픽의 유일한 희망이 됐습니다. 우승에 대한 각오 시원하게 얘기해 주시죠.
일단은 저희가 처음에 약한 모습 보여줬지만 이제 하나하나 박살내는 모습을 보셨잖아요. 그래서 아마 앞으로 만나는 상대들도 다 이제 숨도 못 쉬게 박살내도록 하겠습니다.
Yeah, we started weak, wasn't our strongest game, but as you guys all got to see, we crushed our enemies one by one. And as we make it further into the tournament, we're just gonna be, no mercy. They won't be able to breathe, and we'll crush them until we get the trophy.
Wow! And I think the fans agree with that. สำหรับคำตอบผมเชื่อว่าก็เป็นไปได้ที่บางคนอาจจะยังไม่เห็นว่าเราเป็นทีมที่แข็งแกร่งที่สุดแต่ผมเชื่อว่าแต่ละทีมที่มาเจอเราก็ร่วงไปทีละทีมเหมือนกันและผมเชื่อว่าต่อจากนี้ทีมไหนก็ตามที่มาเจอเราก็จะร่วงเหมือนกันและเราจะทำให้ผลงานตัวเองเนี่ยยอดเยี่ยมมากขึ้นเรื่อยๆในทัวร์นาเมนต์นี้จะเจอใครก็รอดูครับเพราะพวกเราจะใส่สุดขึ้นเรื่อยๆแน่นอนครับโอ้โหเป็นไงครับสำหรับบทสัมภาษณ์นี้ครับผม and of course that was an amazing game I hope for you the best of luck in the playoffs thank you very much to you too Jen for the translations but that will be it for now from the stage but stay tuned we still have one more match coming up please stay tuned for more Valorant action
Nice!
What's up, guys? Who's the best team in Korea now? Come on! 물어, 찔 물어.
The human body was built to move. Not trapped at a desk in one singular posture for 12 hours a day. It's time your chair evolved. This is Secret Lab Titan Evo. Ergonomically engineered for you, gamers, hybrid workers, artists, backing your every move.
Welcome back once again to Day 5 of Masters Bangkok and our final match of the Swiss stage. It will be between G2 and Team Liquid. I'm your host, Yingsu, and I'm joined once again by Mimi and Kakuka. Now, the people that predicted 4 firsts going through are going to be very sad because T1 managed to pull off that upset.
I'm people, and that was insane the way that T1 dismantled them the first game. The fake clone coming out at Masters 2. What a game for T1. I'm so excited to watch them in playoffs.
Yeah, exactly. Them, again, with the double duelist, making their staple even in an international level on a global stage. I absolutely love it.
We do have to talk about this game here, though, because it will be EMEA versus Americas. We've seen this matchup a lot, and we do have the record here for you since franchising on which region has been coming out on top, and it is Americas, but not by like a massively long way.
5 games.
Yeah.
That's significant.
Close, it's close.
But it's not bad. I think that especially things evened out a little bit more last year.
I do see something in front of you still, something you were coping with before.
I have absolutely no idea what you're talking about, but from the beginning of the game, the rivalry between Americas, what was an A, and EMEA has always been present, and I think that when we come into these international events and we ask regionally who they want to go up against, you know, some of the opposing teams, some names up.
I think it's also really interesting always because of some of the differences in styles. It always depends a little bit what it is, but here it's like G2 leaning into a lot of some of the very new stuff, while you have ATL who's like coming back out looking like they're playing 2021 Gambit again, and it's still working.
That's a good thing. That's ultimately a good thing.
It is a W for sure.
But the pressure is on for G2, of course. Not only are they the last Americas team here in Bangkok, they also want to be the first Ascension squad to win a global trophy as well. Ahead of Masters, Achilleos had the time to sit down with Valen and Jonah P for a quick look back at their journey.
Hello, everybody, and welcome. I'm Achilleos, and I'm sitting by with the lovely Valen as well as Jonah P. Gentlemen, welcome to Bangkok. Just wanted to take a kind of dip into the past a little bit, because at G2, you guys have had a tumultuous journey, let's say, starting from Ascension, making your way into the major leagues here. Second place finishes, so very close to winning titles in the past, but now you're coming into Bangkok as the #1 seed from America. So wanted to kind of like look back into the history books here of the team, of you guys as a core foundation for the squad. And we'll get ready to pull up the first clip here, but this is going to go all the way back to when you guys did ascend. And I want to go ahead and take a look here at round 5 from Haven, which, Valen, I think you've always been touted as like almost maybe the original like fragging IGL. How do you tackle rounds like this, and how do you manage to kind of like just stay in the game so much where you can perform at a high level?
I think I mean, it's kind of simple for me. I just take it, what's in front of me, I just take it and try to play. Like, I know I'm gonna be in a 1v3 situation or 1v2, depends on the round, but yeah, I just think, like, for me to be a consistent, like, fragger, as people like to know, it's just, you gotta play the game simply. You can't force things. Just let it come to you, and from there, like, you can be great. So
does that also apply then to how you, as an IGL, are able to utilize your players, like, Jonah? And Jonah, if you could speak to that, like, how do you find the communications, like, when Valen asks you to do something? Is it just that very simple, like, okay, I understand the, what's in front of me, and I have to just tackle this way? Like,
yeah, I think what makes us a great team is when he says something, there's no doubt in our heads, even if it's like a bad call. Nobody will be like, no, I don't think we should do that, I think we should do this. It's just, if it's a bad call, it doesn't matter, we stick with it. And
coming, bro. Look at that TP. Bang.
It's a solid.
Did you know I won it after the first kill?
Yeah.
Come on.
I think most of us do when we're watching, whether it's either of you, frankly, alive at the end, because you're both so damn good when it comes down to just clutching out moments like this.
Jonah's crediting me. I want to give a lot of credit to like him and the rest of the guys, because my 2 initiator players, like Trent and Jonah, they calm a lot about how we want to set up rounds, how we want to adjust macro-wise, and even in the little details. So although a lot of teams think like, oh, the IGL probably says most of the round, like, my guys got me too. So we're just a collectively high IQ group about the game, and so it feels like if one guy is slipping a little bit, someone can pick it up.
We have one more, I believe, and this is going to be from your guys' most recent match versus Sentinels, as you qualified in the first seed to come to this tournament. I have not seen this clip. Production's been talking it up. They say it's a nutty one, so I'm really looking forward to this. So I mean, I'm sure I've watched it in passing, but I did not prepare specifically for this interview. So I'm very much looking forward to seeing how this goes. You're at 11 and 8.
This clip might be the reason we're sitting here right now.
No,
Okay.
actually, we were up 11-3, and we lost every single round, and they were gaining momentum. So like, if we lost this, who knows? But we never lose these. No.
All right. So stealth drone, no real contact quite just yet.
Yep.
Vice
Stocks down, steel guard and out. Force up a sheriff. Okay. Oh, the fake out.
Big kill from Zek in there, honestly. And Bang blows up the round, but we're alive.
Yeah, I like looking at this as a commentator. I'm like, okay, the round is a wash. So I'm very curious as to how
Playing
this comes back.
was the same feeling.
Yeah.
All right, so right here, I get flashed. I'm pretty sure I tell Valen I'm dead. I get a kill on narrate. He was slipping. And right here,
that kill was the winner.
That's
So as soon as he Yoru ulted, I know to run to Jonah, even though I caught a lot of spam, because he's probably gonna try to target him. So I just ran and then easy reposition.
On a 1 to 10 scale, how chaotic are the comms in a moment like this?
Honestly,
not this specific moment here as the round gets ready to wrap up, but like when everything just kind of starts falling to pieces on that entry, how chaotic
yeah,
is it?
like especially when it's like 5v5 and we start getting picked slowly, there's a lot of comms going on. I'm like, because they're in unexpected positions. And then once it was just me and Jonah,
it was very calm.
It was ice cold. It was just like, yam flash, I'm probably dead. And then he gets a kill. Wait, one heaven dead. I'm like, wait, this is winnable. And it's just silence in the 1v1.
Well, clearly your guys' your cool, calm demeanors, your perseverance, it is all paid off. G2 right now, looking on top. I cannot wait to see how you guys are going to be performing at this tournament. I think it's going to be an absolute epic one for you guys. So thank you so much for joining me, and I'm looking forward to the future. So hopefully you guys have a very strong one for us. But that's going to do it for us. So thank you guys for watching.
It's been a great journey for this course so far, but that was before Mimi. They had Jogamo.
And Jogamo was the guy that people thought would bring G2 from a contender to a team that is going to be winning trophies this year. And thus far, he's been fine. He's been solid. He showed up in their games, had his moments, but he hasn't been the superstar that people expected. And I think when you look at a G2 that is in a elimination moment, that is in a very tough position, you have to harken back to this guy at his finest when he was winning trophies, taking over on the dive duelist. He's playing the Yoru now. It's harder to have that same impact, but I think in a match like this, you have to see the best from Jogamo, and he has to prove why he was that long-awaited player that people thought would bring G2 to the next level.
Yeah, and he's going up against a team that's already in this tournament. Kakuka proved that they are a contender.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I think that yesterday we saw amazing things coming in from the side of Team Liquid. Do not get me wrong, this Abyss was messy at best. So many advantages thrown by the other team. You could feel the tension, you could feel the nerves in so many of this place. But everything went out the window when we got to that map number 3. Nats came alive and he completely obliterated Sentinels. Now, there is a parallel there between what happened against EDG and G2 and what we saw yesterday. And it's those long matches staying here until very, very late and probably losing a little bit of their own, like their force.
Yeah, it's almost exactly the same, right? For both America's teams. Lose a tight overtime and then get stomped on that final map. And last time it was all about Team Liquid doing so.
Yeah, and this Liquid, they haven't faced G2 just yet, but Patitech has. This is what he had to say to Mika Fabs earlier.
Hey guys, we are back in the tuk-tuk, this time with Patitech of Team Liquid. Now Patitech, you are quite familiar with G2. You went up against them thrice in Master Shanghai and eventually you took the dub. So I'm wondering, what was the key to beating G2 that time and how is that going to translate to Team Liquid today?
Definitely losing 2 best-of-3s before winning a best-of-5. But I think what will happen is, like, if we're gonna be in control, we're gonna win the game. So let's see what's gonna happen.
Let's see indeed. Well, let's get going. Driver?
I don't know if I trust Jen to bring them here, but the one person that had full trust in Nats was his #1 fanboy, Chichu. To put into perspective, Chichu did not tweet when he won his game. He did not tweet, barely tweeted when he won Chance, but when his GOAT was performing against Sentinels, he tweeted.
I just want someone to love me the way Chichu loves Nats.
Bro was so excited, he didn't take a screenshot. He took out his phone camera and snapped a pic of the VLR.
Can you blame him? Can you blame him? Because this performance.
This was maybe the greatest individual performance on a map in a long time. Nats was single-handedly backing up the years and looking like he was playing on Gambit again. No access to sight, indeed. He was just perfect on that
Almost
bind.
a 4 KD. That was unreal. I think that we all, when we were watching, we saw that one round where he gets the clutch and he knew. He knew at that very moment that he was not leaving this stage without a win. So I'm just going to take this and hope for the best for G2.
But I mean, it's going to be more difficult to do it twice, more difficult to do it back-to-back, and more difficult to do it against the G2, which you guys have mentioned, have looked very, very strong. It's time to close out the Swiss stage. This is it. Show some love and bring out, potentially for the last time, G2 and Team Liquid.
Team Liquid, Hopcap, D2.
There is only one spot left for playoffs, and it comes down to a classic region regional matchup. EMEA versus Americas in this showdown is G2 versus Team Liquid, and the loser will be going home today.
Back in EMEA, it was a lower bracket run for Team Liquid. They're comfortable here. They made it to the finals here. But for G2, seeing them on the verge of elimination is a shock for a team that had such high expectations.
And of course, we have to bring out the conversation around the map, Vito. What is going to happen? We saw G2 leaving that bind open, EDG peeking onto it, and them getting the defeat. The good thing about Team Liquid is, as you were saying, Mimi, a lower bracket run, especially the one from Liquid and EMEA, guaranteed them so many reps on so many maps, so many things that they tested, so many things that they changed as well. But for G2, those numbers are smaller.
Yeah, and also, do they want to play against G2 on Pearl? Surely it's going to be the exact same thing as yesterday. Yeah, there we go, where they float the Lotus.
But they lost yesterday to Sand on Lotus. G2 also very good on that map. So I think that one's tough for Team Liquid. But it's interesting to see the binds left open and TL not go into that one again. They looked lights out the last time they played that, and it was a big struggle for G2.
Yeah, I think they just want to go for comfort, like the split is out.
Yeah.
I think that number 2, it has to be that haven for them. I also love the Lotus. I think that it's going to be a brilliant map to see from both of the teams.
I think all things considered, this is a really nice map pool for Team Liquid.
Yep.
Them getting Abyss as the third map, that's the map they want to play every single time. So you feel pretty happy if you're them about this.
And especially thinking about how the Americas team have done in that third map. If we get there, I heavily favored Liquid because that is probably their best map.
You say that, but I think it's really strong for G2 as well. It's the one map in this pool where we're going to get to see Leaf play on the Chamber. They have really good macro on their attack side. They proved that when they stomped Trace. So I think they have a real fighting chance on map 3 if we do get there.
But yeah, if we do get there. But let's talk about this first map pick here. How do you guys feel about them picking the Haven?
It's just comfort territory for Team Liquid. They looked really good on this in EMEA. Both teams play the Breach tail. The biggest difference is that G2 is locking the Vise, pulling out the Yoru, and they have a ton of great ideas cooked up to combine with Jojimo's Yoru.
And I want to see if the preparation is going to be on the side of Liquid here, because as I'm saying, even though they get all those reps, there is also all that day to watch for G2. We know that they're going to be heavy on prep, and they feel so comfortable with this composition.
No Yoru clone to deal with the Vise. I think the attack side, Nats has to be figuring out how to bait out this utility, call around it, and find the right site at the end of these rounds.
And I'm going to say this again, Kamek on that. Tejo is fantastic on Haven. We're ready to get this elimination match started. So let's send it over to your casters. Here's Panda.
I love the nickname, it's just making me smile, and so is this game. America's up against EU. I mean, you can't help but love it, but the momentum couldn't be more different between these two, right? You've got G2 coming off a devastating loss, right? Heart-wrenching sort of thing. And then Liquid with probably the upset so far that's caught my eye, somehow besting Sen in a way I didn't think possible.
Yeah, the way that third map closed out was just simply ridiculous. Now they have a chance to eliminate another team from Americas, but this G2 squad was looking so fierce. If you'd asked who wins this series 5 days ago, everyone says G2 2-0. Now,
100%.
We're not so sure.
No, because again, look, I'll never beat the allegations about my EMEA love, but anyone in their right mind would have picked G2, right? Seeing what we'd seen, everything looking good, but there's something in the water. We had a Nats that was such a vintage performance, but that's all aside for now. Team Liquid going to be starting out on that attacking side, and of course on the other, G2 need to look locked in here today.
Yeah, G2 doing a lot of work to clear out any late wraps, any late lurks going in, but what it means for G2 is with 2 players on the flank, this retake is going to be fairly weak coming out of spawn, and Team Liquid are set up with 3 players eyeing this choke.
Looking at the timing, maybe to get the pinch right, but it's actually Leaf to go down first. Allows them now time to worry about that flank. The trip's been broken, the eye should turn, and suddenly all this pressure feels a little bit segmented. It's not having the same impact! Oh, Nats might be back, baby! I'm so terrified. If he has another performance like he did against Sen, G2 might be done.
I'm watching that round thinking just not again, not again. That was just the America's killer yesterday on the Viper, now on the signature Cypher too. But really in this round, I think Team Liquid choosing to fight 5 players on site, looking so much towards C-Link there, did wonders to counter out what G2 were trying to accomplish on that multi-flank.
And we kind of talk about it as well in this. I do want to see Liquid keep this round clean. They're going to be up against what looks like classics, but bigger picture, G2 have tape on Liquid, so if you're going to be like coping super hard about the EDG stuff, you could say maybe there wasn't enough tape on EDG to see what they were going to be like with that new meta. Nonsense, but sure, maybe that's the way you see it. You've got tape on Liquid here. This is something you can really lean into. This team has played a great deal, so there should be no excuses.
It's also not a revolutionary comp or anything like this from Team Liquid, as they make quick work again. G2, I'm a little surprised to see them showing so many of these flank looks already round 1, round 2, but that early conditioning, trying to keep that in the back of Team Liquid's minds that, hey, G2 are going to be testing those extremities.
Again, when you've got someone like Nats, I feel like I'm going to be saying his name a lot in this, you're going to be thinking about flanks a lot of the time, considering it's one of your biggest kind of, I don't even say win cons, but it certainly looks good with him at a 5-0 start. And someone else who's not necessarily fall below the conversation line, but Kiko coming out of that regular season was probably one of the front runners in my mind, certainly putting up numbers here. Outside of that as well, Patatech didn't have the best performance either, even in their victory, I would say. Considering we know his heights, I'll be very interested to see how he does here coming into this game up against G2, who are now at least on that bye.
Yeah, the fun there of Patatech back against G2 he played with back in the dawn of Valorant. But look at this, Jogamo stepping down into mid here.
Trying to be aggressive, assertive, and it might be rewarded. It is! Back-to-back damage, looking for a third, and he actually might get out with his life! No trade, no punish. It's Nats to try and claim at least something back with a pick towards Leaf.
Now look at this, once again, G2, one player on the flank, now looking for the retake. Coming into the site, Jogamo's already found 3.
Yeah, this time he's not letting this one slip. It's all down to Nats in a 1v4. Made to a 3, but it doesn't matter. G2 calm and composed, and I love them stamping authority of confidence with Jorg on that mid-walk.
Yeah, they just find that moment to slip over into Bunny, and you could see Jaw as well sort of eyeing, do I go for the flash and peeking for that third kill? He chooses not to, and I think that decision sort of saved the round. It was very near to falling apart here after he gets that second, right? Because he hadn't quite converted. But G2 keep things composed, and Jaw already looking good here to start.
And I think that's something that's essential to this team, is getting Jaw having that big performance as well. Seeing him light things up, do well, get that confidence building early. As I said, we do talk about that disparity in those previous results, how much that can affect a player's mental going in, but now we're going to have at least Liquid on the bye, so we see what they can do with theirs. No massive ults to bank on. Yeah, they've got Natses, but it's not exactly a headliner.
No, not at all. It's interesting to see Team Liquid moving into this mid space once again. G2 a little bit overcommitted towards A early on in the round. By throwing that early cage, Team Liquid thinking they could keep an extra player over there. A little blast from the breach is going to push them back, and Camo will do good to break the Vise wall on B. Early into the round as well, they only wasted 30 seconds to deal with that utility.
Yeah, and I'm looking to see them kind of go through the protocol list here. I want to see how well Liquid managed to navigate all of this.
Exactly. Now they've pulled players to B. It's time to re-clear A. It's just Jaw over there. And what they can do is, actually, if they take out Jaw, they remove that ultimate from the retake.
Okay, spots one. Stick around too long, and I like the reaction though from G2.
Yeah.
This pressure down middle.
They're walking down into mid, and Jaw is going to find 5 players. G2 can heat up on this flank and try to potentially pinch in, except that Team Liquid have already found the timing with Jaw falling down.
Okay, this is going from bad to worse here. Nats is holding the flank as well. He knows where everybody is. The original Icon is still doing this sort of work. Trent irrelevant to outcome, and Liquid made G2 look foolish.
That is crazy. I'm not joking, like, G2 were in a perfect position there.
Stunning, right?
Jaw's ultimate sees everyone. They've got a flank coming in, but Team Liquid react to it perfectly. Okay, well, they turn around, they get this kill, and then Nats is just finding kill after kill, spamming through this off of his ultimate. It's just a bit silly. Even the choice to fight into spawn, realizing that G2 are a bit scattered. Team Liquid are locked in.
And again, I was really liking how G2 looked. I couldn't compliment it enough. The reaction to re-clear middle, very proactive, pressure that flank. I loved it. It all fell apart in what felt like a second. So Util being, I think, kind of tested towards Garage early, and a very attentive start down A long from G2.
I love the single from Kiko. He can see if you pop over into the corner. That is gorgeous. It's just a fantastic anti-eco as well, because what have G2 done on every low buy? It's these slow creeps. Usually it was out into mid, but here realizing that A lobby is going to be that space.
Big identifier of the follow-up player as well. They're not really falling for any of the tricks here. Joel trying to make something happen for himself, but there's no one really taking this, right? No one wants to walk into it. There'll be no reason to. And it looks like Liquid do have this preference to going towards this B-site approach.
Yeah, I think they've realized a couple times now that G2 are grouping up very heavily, trying to fight around Jogamo. Spotting that out, dodging, getting free entrances into the site.
Yeah.
Has every round just been an open site?
so far, it felt a little like it. There is a fight back in the form of Leaf, at least. The rest, again, clearing this deep flank, but I like this reposition from Liquid, pushing through the extremity, but Jaw is still around it, so he can backfill that a little bit.
Jaw's going to be pretty critical if G2 are going to have a chance here on the eco.
If you're Liquid, you've got to be wondering, where the hell are they? They've got to get moving, and Valen's done really well. Patatek goes down, and suddenly you're starting to get a bit more nervous on the side. Jaw appears. We said he was critical, and he is, but the one man still standing, brought to his knees. G2 with a little switch up in pace there, patient on the play back in, and they keep the scoreline close.
Yeah, honestly, when you look at that round, it looked like Team Liquid had the right read because they're getting flanked, so they fight forward, but then they backed off. They didn't want to overfight. They got stuck sort of on this B site, and as soon as they lost the one fight over towards Garage Window, then that pinch comes in, right? This gun goes down. They've got to look too many directions, and Jaw, off of info from his teammates on minimap, is finding spam kills with a stinger through smoke.
And I feel like G2 really needed that, right? That's a little bit of a weight off the shoulders. You're not getting so worried. The scoreline doesn't feel so massive anymore. You've got a nice little divide there from Valen as well. You're going to be one away from Trent. A couple big ults here, right? Giving you some of those keys for potentially retaking on some of these very tricky sites. But as it stands, operator out for Camo.
Yes.
New look here.
Sitting that op down underneath window in mid is really interesting. I think what Camo's sort of reading here is it's usually been an early A open, and then after Team Liquid have fought into mid, G2 have moved multiple players onto the B site and can maybe catch a player over peaking for that one. And it's not a bad read, especially with his teammates making presence into Garage. A lot of times the response is to walk out of B.
But G2 are willing to retake this space. They'll put bodies behind it to clear those question marks. And Jaw is in the right place again. That's big info, though, for Kiko.
Team Liquid now, though, with a little bit of trouble because they haven't found anything with the op. The round is slowing down, but maybe Alert could open things up. If Kiko hears the footsteps coming across, Team Liquid can choose to speed up into the A side or reset back into that lurk.
Like this.
Beautiful.
I really like that. Camo, patience pays for Team Liquid here. Smoke gonna go in, and it's gonna force G2 to... you kind of feel like you have to commit to this.
They're already flooding.
They have to go for it. He's seen him. He's absolutely seen him. Jonah P gonna find Nats, but it's Kamek to instantly trade out. He was spotted early. But do they know about this man? Jorkmo's still here. It's laid, but it's not pretty enough. Kamek controlling. How did Kamek get all of those?
Kamek just takes that distraction, I think, from Camo and just lines him up. Takes him down, no problem. Team Liquid, I really thought they were going to be in some kind of problem with that flood coming into the site. We'll check it out again in the replay. Of course, great work here on that first shot to knock Trent out of it. And then even once Nats is lost, Team Liquid, okay, Camo hunts down the one player into short. And yeah, resets to cover his teammate. Beautiful work.
That's going to be a bit of a stressor for G2. Going to feel nice here because it is going to put the money in a pretty uncomfortable predicament. You're going to be down on a hero Vandal for Valen, Guardian for Jonah P. And that round I quite liked what they were doing. Again, quite proactive. They seem to be in the right places here, but they're behind the curve on towards A. Trent going down leads the gates open. I'm a bit worried. And we're seeing Liquid looking composed. It's this patience. I hope that's
It's almost too much patience out of Camo with a knife in his hand.
Don't start.
Curious. Well, he's doing a lot of very good tricks right now.
It'll be fine. I'm getting flashbacks, man. Like, don't do this.
The thing is, I've only
This feels
seen
really weird.
I've only seen Nats and Patatek move, and it's about 2 steps each.
I feel like this is a tech pause.
I think so too.
I don't want to say it yet, because then I'm really cursed. And I know I'm cursed at this point.
How iced are G2 off of this, though? Like, where are Team Liquid? We haven't seen any utility.
Okay, well, hopefully we find out what's going on. I mean, clearly G2 haven't got the memo, but they'll be going, guys, there's nothing happening. That's weird.
Well, do you think this could just be a Team Liquid save?
Yeah. The old French save, just no one saying
you know, look, we're 30 seconds left in the round. They haven't really gotten any information of where G2 are on the map. So it's hard to exec now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, do I need to go up there and call? There was no damage done, right? Yeah, we'll see. We'll get an update for you guys, so do, you know.
Don't panic. Don't panic.
Panic.
No panicking.
Panick.
It's going to be fine.
I don't know if it is. I really don't know if it's going to be okay.
How do we feel about Trent hunting down the players?
It's a little naughty, isn't it? A little naughty. A little naughty, Trent. Relax. Round's going to be rolled back, though, isn't it?
I believe that's the call.
Yeah. I mean, I'm trying to see who it was. I swear one was like looking at their mouse a bit. Have we got a mouse issue? We go. Oh,
See, I've heard a lot about the famous Pansy Tech pause. I never thought I would have the pleasure of experiencing it here today.
I'm sorry to do this to you. I genuinely wait. I want to see what's he messing with. What is it, keyboard, mouse?
Turning the volume down.
It looked like a mouse problem. I don't know, man. It is wild that this happens to me. I don't think we've had that many tech pauses, have we?
No, I don't really think so. And I do believe I just heard that we got a confirmation the round is 100% being rolled back here, so.
It's all good.
Yeah.
We're fine. Everything's fine.
If anything, the teams had a little bit more time to think about what their approach was going to be coming into the round.
And do you think G2 enjoyed that?
No.
No.
The worst part is, too, like, if you think about the sequence of rounds we just saw, G2 win that eco round, right? And then they've got the bye, it's going great, the clock's getting a little bit low, and then that one slips away and they're forced back onto yet another eco.
That's rough.
So we genuinely haven't seen G2 win a actual buy versus buy round, because all they've got was the anti-bonus and that eco so far.
Good. Oh, it's a gear pause. Wait, he's up and about. Go on, cameraman. I dare you to be brave and show him up and about. Yeah, that's what I like to see. He's behind the desk. Someone get tech support up there. Help the poor man.
Has he tried unplugging it and plugging back in?
No, that is the classic fix, isn't it? Just very different USB.
Yeah.
So it'll be fine, I swear to you. Poor old Camo man, he's having a day, isn't he? He's trying to stay locked in. It wasn't mouse. It was keyboard.
No, it was keyboard. That'll happen.
And it's going to take about 10 minutes as well for the in-ears coming back in.
Yeah.
And the headphones. Get cozy.
I'm surprised we haven't seen anyone kick the chair all the way back yet. That's my favorite.
Oh, you mean like the full lead back?
the full OS-boss, as we call it.
Do you think G2 would after this start?
No. Honestly, I feel like G2 have to be locked in.
It'd only be, I feel like, who could do it?
Because also
10-3, by the way.
Think about G2's situation, right? Because they played 2 days ago. Have that insane overtime match versus EDG. Play another. The third map, they get sort of blasted out of the water. So then they are chilling at the hotel. They're watching Team Liquid series yesterday. It's like, oh, Sentinels, it's not looking too bad for them. And then they see what Nats did to them on map 3. Then you come into today, and Nats has 9 kills in the first 4 rounds.
And it does feel like I didn't want to kind of curse it, right, when you're talking about Nats, because it was like a one-off level performance to see him peak that high.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Like, Nats is very good, everyone knows that, but to that extent, he exploited a lot of the issues that Sen had. I'd be incredibly impressed if he finds consistency at that level of excellence, but so far so good at 10-3. We are back into this, so thank you for your patience. 4 rounds to Team Liquid and 2 to G2, and now we get back to business.
Love the change of pace from Team Liquid this round. Getting it quick, and it's Nats with the operator. Okay.
It's not the first time you're going to see it, and it probably won't be the last. And you probably wouldn't expect him to outdo Jaw, but this time he does, and Kamek very aware of the angle.
Hold on now.
But Jonah P, cleaner with it, controlling towards middle.
Trent the only A player right now, and it's just a Sheriff in hand, but Valen's got a hero rifle, Jonah's already gotten one with the Guardian, and there's some pretty hefty ultimates for G2 to try and convert this numbers advantage.
Okay, they're building. Nats here, gonna get the ult. He can go back down towards Sewer.
Oh, that ultimate is gonna try and push players into Leaf, who sprinted up into window.
It makes no difference. I know. Like, they can pause on this one. They're gonna get the info on the ult here unless Leaf moves now, and he... How the heck did they get away with that? Nats was almost dead. It looked almost so likely, but Patatek finds some space on the side. Valen on the side swing takes him down, and suddenly Liquid are being held at the door. They're not getting the access they want, but Nats still alive, an operator in hand. Let's see. Nats, is this like the game against Sen? You've been spotted. Uh-oh, Kiko's unraveling the crossfire. Jonah P and Trent will not let that slide. A Mastercard Thrifty coming in, and G2 just stay off the guns.
It's just another eco that they're winning. It's just a little bit silly. Quite frankly, like, Jonah P finds that opening kill into mid, right? That's a big one. They toss 2 ultimates in to make sure they're securing it. It's a little bit shocking, especially considering that, okay, yeah. We took him down. Jaw had a Marshall. It's not a true 1v1 just yet.
again, and I do think there'll be question marks if it continues this way, right? Because we're back on a bye now. We do have the shorty coming at, well, excuse me, Bucky coming out for camo. Does have the knives to lean on, but they do like to go for these explosive B approaches with this sort of thing, and it looks like once again they're at least implying this early.
Yeah, that smoke to teleport into. Jet can dash into the site. We'll see how aggro we're getting. Look at that with the Bucky. Already trading 1 for 1, and Team Liquid are still on a warpath. Kiko diving in towards C Link, but Trent has done well to slow this hit down.
Trent's done exceptionally well. He's kept them in this B site. He's kept them in the numbers game. He's kept them in a man advantage. He is the hero that they needed right now, and he might have to still keep going. Kamek and Palitek alive here. They can hit the pause button for a second.
Big drone.
Yeah, but they don't get much off it, sadly. They're looking for almost a slam dunk. They're going to force the swing. Uh-oh,
beautiful.
What the hell? They're making it work. Jorgamo going to strike back. It's all on Kamek in a 1v1. Operator for Jor. He's got his ult as well, as does Kamek. But again, in these situations, how does this unfurl? Kamek going walkabout's completely unknown. Jorgamo took the TP out, and back to back. Jorgamo now finding that impact on the side, but I've got to say, again, in my mind, Trent doing well in this round. So much impact coming out from G2's individuals.
Absolutely, right? G2 go for that fast flood into the site. And they'd had the early stall, too, which allowed them to actually get in position for that one. The fact that Jogamo finds the pick onto Nats, who's going from the flank into window. It's a really chaotic round, you know? Team Liquid really tried to blow things open, fighting in towards A-Link, then they switch over into C-Link, too. I really think Team Liquid are trying to make these rounds almost as chaotic as possible to catch G2 before they're sort of in motion for their own retakes.
Yeah, and it looks like attack timeout coming in for Liquid, but I feel like if Trent didn't have that level of impact on the site, though, that could have gone completely different. What an incredible round from him.
Yeah, it's one of those things. I feel like G2's supporting staff are so effective at holding down sites. We saw from Jonah P with the Guardian in hand the previous round. He's sort of known for his play with the Guardian and the Sheriff in Americas. Trent too. Fantastic work in that last one. Even when, you know, Jogamo is falling or when he's stuck on the operator on the opposite side of the map, those guys can step up.
Yeah, and this becomes the kind of puzzle solving for Team Liquid. Already claiming 4 rounds, but now, normally if that timeline kind of felt more honest, you'd kind of think that G2 side would win more and more gun rounds, but that felt like the most stable gun round they've actually been able to convert in a minute. So it hasn't fully stabilized yet. This is still very much up in the air, but it is going to break Liquid's bye, right? So they are going to be down to the Stingers, maybe odds and ends to even out the money a touch, but I don't think that Liquid have found a huge flaw in G2's approach yet. I don't love these kind of straight into Bs. They haven't been working out. I want to see them explore the rest of the map here. I think that pace change could come in incredibly well for them.
It's going to be important too because G2 are switching up their site holds, right? Jogamo's moving that operator over towards C. Leaf on the Vise, going to be playing A and looking to place, I think, a forward Vi as well over towards Stack. That'll end up leaving this B site a bit weaker, but see where Jonah P is. He's just got stun in hand, ready to stun into Garage or B off of either of his 2 teammates' contacts on the areas.
And I can't compliment Trent enough. I want to see if he's again going to be the one to be doing damage off this. Jonah P is layering on that utility, keeping it very controlled, at least for now. And they're aware that generally Liquid have been going for those extremity pushes, which once again they are doing. Jonah P does outgun them though, as does Jaw. And now you're going to see that crunch come in. Late presence through Garage, don't forget. Oh, a little sloppy, but it gets the job done. Leaf finally getting on the board with 2 of his own. Going to keep this well in hand. A 2v4 is not easy, Nats. You're a nasty boy, Nats, but they got to get moving. Uh-oh, how is this happening? Leaf is still doing work here, but it's a 1v2, and Nats knows where Leaf is, but there's a time incentive, and Leaf standing tall. 4 huge kills, and G2 manage in the mayhem.
Yeah, they lock down the fort. Yeah, there's Nat shooting him in the side of the head, but it's all good. I think G2 now have realized that Team Liquid's heavy anti-prep in this game has been to fight into spawns. Every round, they're playing super aggressive host plans, and now G2 are doing a much better job of identifying that and holding it down.
So we look at depth, we look at capability. G2, that stability is everything to them right now. 3 consecutive rounds. Money getting a little bit better for themselves. Ult starting to hit through as well. Pressure back towards A, at least on the early implication. No full follow-up to it yet, though.
Yeah, I think the annoying thing for Team Liquid is because they went for the B rush on the eco round. They haven't actually seen what the differences G2 have in their setup coming out of the timeout. They don't know about the Vi setup on A. They don't know exactly what Jog is going to be doing with that operator. So they've got to be very cautious working forward here and don't have a lot of cues to play off of.
Who's the one exploring first? Trying to keep the stun. Force him for now. Playing out of the connector. Shot missed.
Wow.
Jonah P gonna just put that to the chest of Camo, and that's a man up to the good around the minute mark. And look at Jaw going walking.
Exactly, creeping down into C. Team Liquid have no space on the map. Apart from, I guess, Kiko, who's held down A long, but he's not in a forward position just yet.
You still with that Vice wall there, right? You still got security in that. They're happy enough leaving one on it.
I think this round is going to hinge on what Nats can accomplish on B. Team Liquid have very little time to make presence known over into A, so Nats is going to have to snap onto something. Because if he takes too long, I think that stack is just going to run out of time to work with. They don't know about this Vise yet. Only now do they realize there's a wall and this stall is going to hurt.
Yeah, this is rough now. Paranoia's gone in. They're going to have to make something of it, but look at the time being bought here. It's perfect. And this is just outdone G2 with a magnificent approach. You got 10 seconds. There's nothing you could do. Wrap it up. Spike's still down there. Yeah, Leaf, go deal with them. Ooh. Okay, not like that, but the time. Time is the biggest thing, and he bought time for it. Kamek can go farming. I don't care. The round is gone. And it's a misstep from Liquid here, and a perfect example of G2's adaptation being rewarded.
Exactly, and I really do believe this all goes back to what Team Liquid chose to do on the eco. It's a really hard decision to have coming out of a timeout on an eco round where it's, okay, do we go for the rush play that might give us a higher chance of winning this round? Yeah. Or do we play slow and figure out what the changes our opponents have made? And because they went for the former, they just ran into time issues without any type of scouting. As soon as they lost their duelist, it was just, what do? We have no plans.
It's not good enough to be walking in blind like that, just hoping, praying that it'd go in your favor. And now we look at the pace again. Much heavy a look towards A. Still got a buy. Yes, could be lacking in some areas. Obviously, Paditech, they're just down on the Sheriff. This looks simplistic in approach, at least for now.
G2 have a double setup in mid. Nats could be running into some serious trouble if he tries to play into that B space.
It feels like they're pulling the players over. Yeah, G2, that's 3 players now towards A. Smoke close and away we go. Nats trying to navigate through middle, but still, it's all going to be held down by G2. They got bodies here. This feels like it's falling flat, and it is. G2 making light work of Liquid. This doesn't look threatening at all.
Oh,
you didn't see
Kiko.
Nats. Guess where he is? Right behind you. Good luck, Kiko. Have fun, Kamek. You're not going to do a thing here. G2 have elevated in the last couple of rounds. And Kamek can try and make it look good for the scoreboard, but that'll be about it in a 1v4. G2 back in control.
Yeah, Trent and Jonah P keeping it locked down over on the A site. Finding the 2 kills through the spam, then their util is coming back off the cycle because the hit's coming in right on that 1 minute mark. Just stopping Team Liquid in their tracks completely. Those are the guys that, again, Jogmo's off in Narnia over on the B side. He's not helpful. So to be able to lock it down like this is just fantastic.
Feels very readable right now. I feel like G2 have been doing their homework, and Liquid just, I don't want to say falling short. 4 rounds is doable. 5 would be much better for them, but still, this doesn't feel inventive. It doesn't feel unknown.
This mid space is really strange right now. Team Liquid going for an ult play back in Link.
This is wild. Camo straight away takes away Leaf. It's pacey, but G2 have been good in this sort of chaos. They've kept up with this, but it's a lot of players in a very awkward situation. Jaw is surrounded. He wants to fight out. Jaw will not back away, and maybe he should have, but he couldn't. G2 still staying in this with 3 standing, but the C site is lost.
It's a 3v3 right now. Alan has an ultimate, there's fighting garage, this determines everything. Jonah P opening it up now can call in his teammates to ult back into the site.
And there it is, ult comes in. Kamek was ready, this was nice, 25 HP. We've got to know that that space could have been occupied. Jonah P is on the money now! G2 looking so much better.
That was wild. Team Liquid just blow open the round, but again, it's Jonah P finding those kills. It's Jogamo turning around to deal with Camo's jet when he's surrounded on every single front.
Oh, it feels like Liquid ran out of steam there, and G2 showing their depth at 8-4.
Locating targets.
One enemy.
One suppressed. All missiles away.
Wait. Nice point. Nice retake.
Had it with your old phone. We've got you.
At Verizon, trade in any old phone for iPhone 16 Pro on us, on any plan. And get iPad and Apple Watch Series 10, all 3 on us. That's up to $2,000 in value, only on Verizon.
Red Bull gives you wings.
The beauty in the stars above, I've lost their hold on me, 'cause I'm a sinner, I'm not the same, a heart of a winner, so why do I turn away, somewhere in the deepest blue, I will find you, 'cause I'm a sinner, and God knows I'm born this way.
And it was a volatile start. You know, Liquid came out swinging. It looked like we had a bit of a game on our hands. Nats looking like maybe it was another sort of, you know, one of those.
He was owning.
But G2 made it suddenly. What, 7th round? Looked like they had no problems at all.
Yeah, 6 in a row.
Easy.
Yeah, 6 in a row to close it out. Very impressive stuff. Honestly, if you want to just talk game plans for these two teams, it felt like G2, after that timeout was called, lights out. Could not be touched. But Team Liquid came in with a really interesting read. It was all about fighting forward in those post plants, stopping G2 before they could really get into their retake. So I sort of feel like Team Liquid will have a lot of these hard reads on G2 coming into this series. Do or die series for them. And on their defense, I wonder what that's going to be. It's going to start on Pistol with a heavy fight over C-Long.
Oh, this could be a straight-up biff, isn't it? Just 3 on one side, 5 on the other. Numbers looking a little bit better for G2, but let's see. Already very well. Oh, this could be so sick. This is so sick. Look at the pour on of Util. They put it right through the blender. Kamek the onto really draw blood though. And G2 fighting it out. It felt like Liquid had the read, and it didn't matter for a moment.
How on earth did TL only get the 1? Their utility was genuinely perfect. We're going to have to wait to the replay because I thought they had absolutely everything they needed.
Oh, that's gutting as well. That's a wind out of your sails, right? For G2, you're grinning, right? You just
Hold
got...
on.
Hold on. Yeah. Kiko. No way were you going to make that anymore. He's made it doable, though. He's brought it down to a 1v2. Trent and Valen suddenly having to really focus up.
Balance on 10 HP.
Oh my god, the timing.
We're still going to
The
jazz.
timing. Trent, you absolute superstar. He was phenomenal during the regulation rounds on that B site. He was impactful there, and he might have just saved that one from becoming a tragedy. But the start of that, Liquid knew it all.
Yeah, please, let's see that again. Oh, there's a counter stun, so at least Patatek is stunned. I'm not sure what happened to Kamek and Nats on the other side.
One down.
It felt so good.
Yeah. I mean, benefit of the doubt is there could have been, you know, some like Yoru Flash something that forced them off the line. I'm going to assume, but that was hard to see through all the mess of utility being tossed out there.
That has got to be an absolute gut punch for Liquid in their mind, because they had the right read. But doesn't matter, still got to click the heads, and it was G2 out on top, dealing with whatever cards thrown at them. Leaf quickly going to get out of there. Ooh.
Wow, just barely misses it.
Yeah, it's the finest of margins. But in the meantime, G2 have staked their claim on this C site. And yeah, there's Sheriffs on the other side, but they should be 10, right?
Yeah, I mean, G2 went for the full buy here. They don't care about the bonus. It's just about winning that round. Call with the heavy round advantage coming on through here. Double stars to stop the flood out from C-Link too. Wall to cover the flank. This is a solid anti-eco setup.
This is really uphill. Liquid looking for options and finding very little, and that's the only one to do it as G2 stalwart on this site. Oh, G2 again. They invested heavy into this round. They were not going to take any chances here. Kiko, if you get one more, he's keeping him close to sight. There we go. G2 going to recover the more prized possessions of the Guardians and bits and bobs. I Yeah, and the Bulldog there too. All good.
Now the thing is, Team Liquid bought a lot of Sheriffs that round.
Yep.
They've got 4 light armors. If G2 identify that, which, getting all those kills, they see the Sheriffs on the ground, this could be a time to force up into an Outlaw, genuinely, for them.
I'd love to see it. Why not?
It's a weird call to make, because on the one side, when you have such a buffer, 10 to 4, it's like, just take the bonus here,
Sure.
build up your economy, that's totally fine, but this could have just been the nail in the coffin had they gone for it.
Here.
What a course correction for G2 this would be. After what was probably a real sour game for them. Coming back into this and looking like they are really on the money. This is dreamy. But can they even make it hurt now for Liquid? They have the better guns on the Liquid side. They should have everything they need. But once again, into this retake scenario.
A lot of good utility for G2 to play with. Multiple flashes for this fight into Garage and the teleport out with an early kill. G2 can now fall back into long because there's no smokes.
Yeah, that was just profound aggression, and it works wonders, leaving just Liquid, as I said, down to 4, struggling uphill. G2 making it hurt, turning the screws. As Panatek gonna face the music on 23 HP, and Kamek by his side, but how are you meant to deal with this? You can't. You know you can't. Time is going to be going, and Leaf, a little unlucky on the time, but it doesn't matter. They're going to make it to 11 on this round. This is more than the first nail in the coffin. This is the gateway to the map, pretty much.
That is just brutal. I mean, how many flashes do G2 have just continually fighting into Garage? Kamek needs to keep this rifle online just to be a potential hero, and he does.
Lucky boy.
The faintest size of relief for Team Liquid.
Look at the money now for G2, 3 back-to-back rounds. You don't often see that. Liquid are on the ropes here in map 1.
And this is the absolute worst feeling as a coach, too. You've played 3 rounds, and you have to call a timeout. You have nothing to go on. Nope. You've seen a pistol and anti-eco, just these like random C hits. You don't have anything other than looking at the forecast your next few rounds. How do we get ultimates to play with? How do we win this big swing round for us?
Hey, this is the G2 we wanted, right? I think you said it well at the start, that if anyone asked you head-to-head between these two teams at the start of this tournament, everyone would have gone for G2, right? It was the logical option in most people's minds. And it was that one upset, that one strange game, it felt where the stars aligned, that Liquid looked beyond their means by a long shot, right? We saw the best of some of these players. Now, there's nothing saying they can't do it again, but they're on 4 rounds, and G2 have come out looking like they should. They are one of the most favored teams here. They are arguably the favored team. You could throw EDG in there. You could throw Vitality in there, sure. But pound for pound, they should be putting up 11 rounds to the likes of Liquid. This is much, much better from G2.
In fact, they turned it around after losing the pistol, those few scrappy rounds early on in the half. They've just been completely lights out. And genuinely, I'm really happy with how Jonapi has stepped up in a lot of these eco rounds, and Jogamo as well, because I think Jogamo got completely shut out in that series back versus EDG. But now Team Liquid, everything riding on them to keep competitive in this opener.
Now we kind of get into the rougher end of this for Liquid too. Their buy now going to be shattered, right? They can get some bits and pieces, but it's Kamek's Vandal that is their prized possession.
Right walk.
Well, that's bold from Panatek, and it's labored, but it's got the job done. Leaf is removed. Now
You've just got,
towards A.
Yeah, you've got Nats playing up towards Heaven, trying to get a kill off the trip, but there's too much utility to break the trips. Yoru is just unfair, easily dealt with, but the Flood coming in quick.
Yeah, they've got to make this one work, though. Panatek going to put his life on the line for it. Pressure starting to mount now. Nats dives in, head first. He takes the fight, but Trent again in these critical rounds. Trent comes alive. I can't stress it enough. But an ace? No way.
Full minute to play with, but that spike is in a bad way.
Oh, yeah.
The thing is, when he goes for the exec, he has the missiles, he's got a stun to play with. Camo and Kiko are stacked. There's a world.
Yeah. Have you ever heard the story of the Trent 1v5? Started off with 2
Surely
incredible
not.
kills. He was down to 79 HP. Almost full util left here. And then he goes for that play out of from Sewer, the spike. God, awful position. Swain comes in. It wasn't this round, actually.
Right,
it was a different one. But
it was that other one.
It was the other one.
Yeah.
Hey, lifeline for Liquid, right? They needed that.
It was probably around he was playing Sova on Ascent.
That's
usually the Trent
the one.
1v5. But genuinely, okay, so Team Liquid, what have we seen from them in that round that gives us a little more faith? It's that mid walk, right? think one of the things playing the spies is you have a little bit less like scouting control over mid space than you do with a Killjoy turret or a Cypher camera, those types of things. So maybe a small theme Team Liquid have identified, trying to flush out that space. Looking this next round too, they've got 3 players ready to fight there as well.
Might be the right shout though, but Jaw without ult is going to be an issue, right? He's got that Stinger nice and close as well. Any America's hands looks good. Kiko doesn't want to leave this, but he's going to have... Oh, his team's... Nats saved him! I thought he was dead for sure. Surely Kiko was going to die there, but no. But now panic stations. Utilities coming in. A dash to the side. Counter ult. It's an absolute mess. Kamek even taking down Camo. And Jonah P putting them in their graves. What the hell has just happened? I couldn't tell you. But Palitek and Kamek, the only 2 alive, split on the map, but an opportunity beckons, takes away Trent. Now we've got to see a response from Paddy too. He's got to take some space here, but look at Jonah P's position.
Oh, yeah.
It is stunning. Offsets the time, wins the fight. He's basically won in the round. Kamek's going to have to go nuclear in this. Util Poron's there, and they're not going to engage
There's a stun
with him.
back up.
Look at this.
It's not going to happen. G2 somehow see through the pandemonium on that. I mean, double Teho ults. Valen's trying to just dance around both things. Jonah P spamming people through smokes. It's just a little bit wild.
Just a touch. That's why, good luck understanding this.
And look, like, okay, Jugget's team stunned there, coming out of the ult a little bit early.
Oh.
And they still win the round, even through all of that. Next one, yeah, okay, he's just shooting.
Must be nice. This is not a good look for Valorant in general. I think there was, again, there's gonna be that League of Legends co-streamer having a watch, having a giggle. That's not gonna go well, and I don't think I saw a single one of those kills, all through smokes. Right, redemption in this one. Liquid need to do it now, or it might be never. Already a 2-for-1 trade out, and G2 straight up with the upper hand.
I mean, Team Liquid just effectively ran the same play 3 rounds in a row out of the timeout. G2 aren't gonna be fooled again.
What are you meant to do, right? What are you meant to do?
Well, now that you're down in numbers, you almost have to sort of act out a little bit.
Sure, rat around somewhere, try and find something, I guess, lower percentile. Whoa. That's not gonna do it. G2 looks so in the driving seat here. Nats and Kiko, yeah, probably some of the 2 heavy hitters from this team. People have looked at these 2 as the ones to be able to bring them back to the forefront. Jog did not care. 13-5, it's a dominant display from G2, and that is message sent.
Just beautiful Valorant from John Jonah. Fantastic work between the 2. On the defensive side, locking it down, Jaws op was excellent. And once G2 realized that Team Liquid would just go, 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 they slowed down the rounds, they knew exactly what was going on, they had Team Liquid's number.
Oh, Jonah P, my God! Jonah, Professor. Nice, Trent! Nice 2-test. See? The classic. Give me the classic.
Give me the classic! I shit on 3 of them with no armor, not even touching me.
guys, I'm here right now with Josh of G2. Now, Team Liquid, they got some early momentum that time, and then you took a timeout, and G2 started ramping it up. So I'm curious what you told them that time that really gave them that momentum.
Told them to just trust their reads. I felt like they had a good idea of like how the other team is calling, and we just like kind of messed up some micro. So it's just a matter of like easing into the game. We tend to do that in some of these like stage games so far. So once we're warming up a little bit, getting used to our like teammate comms, we were just flowing. So yeah, I mean, it was just again reiterating trusting your teammates.
So it should be smooth sailing from here on.
Hopefully.
Well, good luck to you guys.
I mean, G2 looked extremely comfortable on that map. I am your hosting, so I'm back here with Kakuka and Mimi. Given how the way that the map started, are you surprised on how it ended?
A little bit, because Team Liquid, I thought they came out with a really good read going into a lot of these B hits, fighting forward in the post flank, but Josh called that timeout. The players warmed up, and they just kept that momentum rolling through the rest of the half.
Yeah, and it's so important to understand like the way that Team Liquid was repeating maybe the same plan time and time again, and I do think that that timeout changed things up a little bit, because it's also like relying on the composition and your strengths as a team, and as I said, with the comp as well, that gave them what they needed to close that out.
You gotta love a Josh RT timeout. I feel like it always works out for them, but that brings us to our Verizon high-speed moment. We talked about how Jogamo wasn't performing as much as we wanted him to, and he is here turning up.
Yeah, this is a 1v2 that I thought he played really, really well. TPing away, sending a TP over towards A as well, and then full walking back to the position he was just in. And you see here, Kamek just looking the complete other direction, expecting Jaw to come from that TP. And it's little things like that that are getting Jaw a lot of his kills in kind of this year for him with G2. It's not the double satcheling in, flashy raise plays, but what he brings to the team is really consistently well thought out ideas with the Yoru and those occasional big flashy rounds still as well.
Yeah, exactly. And I think time and time again we were seeing Team Liquid just repeat and just go into B, and I feel like G2 got the idea most of the times, and they were delayed so much just because they didn't want to face the rest of the utility that was planted all over the map, that I think they got a little bit lost there.
Yeah, there was a few rounds, right? Liquid just looked a little bit lost, but G2, they fully capitalized on that. We have a round 10 here, and also Jonah P is playing out of his mind.
Absolutely. I think that, as you're saying, he's playing brilliantly. Is at the beginning, this kind of utility plus the peak challenging what Kamo was doing. Yes, finding the kill. This happened in many, many rounds, and then just thinking about like G2, Team Liquid thinking about that plan B became so complicated, because on one side of the map you have Yogemo with the TP out and the operator, and once they get to A, they see also that the device utility is put on there, and just the delaying from G2 makes it an unwinnable round for them.
Yeah, G2 do a really good job, I think, of providing enough pressure on other parts of the map to force teams into these Vice sites late on. But you mentioned Team Liquid doing the same rounds. After losing this round 10, they went back into a similar idea. Lurk up towards B, look for a hit there, lose a player, late A exec into the Vice utility. And there was quite a few rounds here where they were going for those late execs into the Vice's site and honestly getting cooked. But the guy doing the damage in mid was Jonah P. I loved how he would get aggressive at times in that area of the map, peeking in, protecting the Vice wall, getting his pick or two, and then playing into the percentage play of going for the retake with the rest of the team.
How dire is the situation for Liquid as we move on to map 2?
I think the most concerning thing, I think that we mentioned it quite a bit, is the throwing up the advantages. Even though we're speaking about, oh, G2 getting the first kill, this and that, in most of the occasions it was actually Team Liquid getting the opener and just not being able to capitalize on that. G2, as we're saying, relying more on their plans and just making it look good for themselves, understanding their winning conditions. So now moving on to Lotus as the second map, it might make things difficult for Liquid.
Well, I want to see what Coach Lohan had to say ahead of map 2.
Hey guys, I'm here right now with Lohan of Team Liquid. Now, I wanted to ask about the famous Nat speeches, and how do you see these words, impact the players during really dire rounds, during really important moments, and how do you see the team transform after hearing them?
It's a great leader, honestly, inside and outside of the server. I think he's a reference for the boys, and I think if there's someone that can pull the boys up after this game, it's him, and I fully trust him that he will be able to do it, 100%.
Well, it's really showing in the game, so best of luck to the team.
I see why they all have a lot of trust in Nats as well, because this is a very, very difficult task for him now. The comp that they showed yesterday, the Lotus that they had to play, Mimi just wasn't the best.
He was actually really good on the attack side, but defense fell apart. I think that they really struggled to find the right rotations on that side of the map. They were getting ran over on their C site a lot, but the attack did have really good macro. I think Nats was calling good rounds there, but I do expect that this is a map that Team Liquid expected to see in the series from G2, and I expect it'll be something that they put a lot of attention on after losing it in their last series.
But now the question still is, how much trust did they have on winning that first map? Because that Haven was their map pick, and as we're saying, we're not only confident in the chances for Team Liquid, it's also how well G2 plays this map, Mimi.
They're incredible here, and no surprises.
Oh my God!
Okay. I said that for G2.
Yes.
It's a neon for camo.
Okay,
Yeah.
I absolutely love this because it brings us back to how important is the meta and how it balances out with the comfortability of players.
Yeah, and this is what I kind of expected from Camo a little bit before.
Damn.
About how he has never played some of the agents they had to run here, but he has played the Neon here before on Lotus, and he looked really, really good doing it.
And this is a great change-up against G2. They're one of the few teams that doesn't run the Sentinel, that doesn't run the Vice. A lot of their defensive game plan is around fast lobby takes with all of the utility they have in this comp. Neon can slide past that, circumvent it, and completely change the pace of the game for Team Liquid. It's do or die for them, and I think this is a great decision going into Lotus.
Absolutely, and talking about them being in sync with Kamek, with Patitek, I want to see the same things that we see on Abyss in terms of gameplay.
Well, the road to get here for Liquid has not been easy. It's been a long one. Pansy and Ender, if they want to keep their playoff streams alive, they have to win on Lotus.
It has been an arduous task to get here for Liquid, but now you are facing off against some of the best in the world. G2 coming out on map 1 looking lethal. However, Liquid have adjusted things here. Whether or not we think it's enough, we'll probably find out mostly in the second half.
I mean, genuinely, yeah, I'm excited to see what those execs are going to start looking like on the attack side of things. But I think what this speaks to me for Team Liquid is a very heavy anti-prep, right? Mimi's touching on it, how good the Neon can be against no Senti and the lack of necessarily needing a Yoru. But really, to me, this is reminding me of what the first half of Haven looked like with all these aggressive plays. They had a read, they had a game plan. And I think for Team Liquid, what's important is the game plan sticks early and they adjust as G2 continue to mix things up.
Yeah, it's not going to be easy to put G2 into that box, though. Again, they have been at the receiving end of what it feels like to play against an aggressive Neon. You know, hopefully they forget map 3 and recent enough series.
I'm trying to push that out of my mind, personally.
But for G2, they faced this problem. They didn't do well at facing it before. They were brought down to their knees, but I don't know if Liquid have that capability, that level to go to, because I feel like we're back in reality, right? The game just gone against Sen, we saw what could be with Liquid. You know, that was the highest potential from them, an absolute thriller of a game. But reality hits you quick, right? You're brought right back down to earth. And G2 have a point to prove. A lot of people put a lot of question marks at them after that performance against EDG. Map 1, they're writing at least my worries. But whether or not they can make it happen in map 2, we're about to find out.
G2 have never had this high of expectations coming into a global event. Always been the second seed, but they finally won in Americas. Now it's about sending it home. Making it into the top 4 is the sole Americas representative sticking in.
So coming in, G2 on the attacking side, of course, meaning Liquid on the defense. And that Neon doesn't quite have that same impact, but I wonder if Liquid would like to play that as maybe a little bit of flavor to this.
It's interesting, G2 waiting for the aggression, waiting for Team Liquid to overplay their hand. But eventually they've got to do something, and they're going to move back over into a C-trap.
They might be rattled after what happened on that last map, having the right read, but sadly couldn't stick the landing. But now, step for step, mirroring the rotation.
It's a great adjustment from G2, moving over into the A site, and Baby Door not broken, I don't believe, so Kamek's going to rotate back into spawn. That should be G2 getting onto this site. Not too difficult. 2 players going to jump in for TL.
But I'm looking at this flank as well for Camo. That lack of Sentinel will be a factor. He can get behind them fast. But can Liquid hold down the site? Kamek getting a little baited by that one, but blinded as well. Little to be done. Patitek and Nats spinning on a dime. Liquid this time, making it count. Trent a mile away, and the flank is in. Liquid claim the first. And again, step by step, match those rotations just right.
Where did that come from? G2 find the opener on the side hit, and then Nats, Patatek, holding down the fort. Not too shabby.
Okay.
They came after G2, avoided that early stack. Yeah, I want to see this again, because Kamek didn't really have much of a chance, but... yeah, okay, Patatek just holding Nats' left while Nats can deal with the right. Well, those two guys, shoulder to shoulder, not going to shut them down.
And I do quite like what Liquid did, almost herding them straight through towards A, right positioning for it. And a very similar beginning. Again, this kind of 2-2-1, leaving Nats hyper passive on that A site, willing to let the site go.
Yeah, you don't see the Neon all the time on this map anymore, but when you play, especially play B, it means very fast rotates into both A and C. Again, we're seeing Nats play off-site, wait for his teammates to get over, and look to jump back down.
Oh dear, these sites are not looking all that accessible right now. And now Jonah P and Leaf gonna try and put something together, make it a little costly, get warmed into this one. You're not looking likely to convert the round, and especially in Leaf's position here. Spike left very far away. If you could do a bit of damage, that'd be very nice.
Yeah. That was nice from Leaf too. I think he had to use the height of the cage to give himself a little path to drop on down with. So Leaf finally ends up getting spotted here. Quick rotate from Team Liquid, already working wonders for them. Expect to see G2 really start to slow down the pace of these rounds after getting punished, accelerating in. Now Leaf's gonna run into a high-low. Yeah, fun times.
Very nice. But look, map 1, it kind of felt like this a little bit, right? We were like, oh, Liquid look really good.
Right,
wow, they've got some great ideas. And then G2 took that one timeout, and it was like, well, game's over. That's map done. Brilliant. But, you know, again, for Liquid, they've clearly done their homework here. They've come in with a really well-made plan, it looks like, at least.
And you know, we heard Josh RT sort of talking in his interview there about how G2 can sometimes be a little bit slower to start before they sort of get the read on their opponents. One thing he's great at is calling those timeouts and then having exactly the right read on what TL and what their opponents are going to be doing. See here, though, because TL playing very light on this C side. Camo's trying to show there to say, hey, it could still be that trap play, and then bait G2 to finish into A like they have the last 2 rounds.
Do they do it? Joel's going to get building towards ult, that's fine. And it's a very different setup as well. Door, not in the same sort of look. Different utility setup as well from Liquid. Heavier emphasis, at least towards that initial B approach. Wondering if Nats does adjust. He's going to be caught out in a little bit of an uncomfortable spot here. Nearly got punished, does get away. But it's very indicative this A approach is happening now.
Yeah, it's tough for TL because I think they overthought it a little bit, rotated over into C, didn't think G2 would do the same thing 3 rounds in a row, but they have.
Waiting as Kiko can get out from this as well. Yeah, nice. Nats still playing around on the side too. Turns the flash, but he can't get some full safety. Wait, hold on. He's still alive. And Liquid flooding back on the side. G2 just depending, banking on Jonah P to save them. And he couldn't do enough. G2, I felt, had that in hand.
It's just deja vu, apparently.
What the hell?
3 rounds in a row. Once again, Team Liquid trying to drop into that site quickly. This time it's Kiko with the Outlaw.
Nats, how's he finding this space as well? Look at this. I mean, getting all 3, yeah, that's lovely, but still finding that space to work in.
Exactly, he's putting himself in the right spot by going all the way up flush against the wall. He's much earlier on the angle to arrive, so G2 aren't, you know, slowly trying to clear him out. He just gets pushed completely out.
Ooh, Camo, this is really dangerous. This could be a lost Vandal here, but do they check? They absolutely do. Very diligent from G2, punishing these positions that have worked well for Liquid.
Still, they don't want to overcommit into this B site. Team Liquid are here again, so quick to move on the map. But it does mean they leave their C site a little weak, their A site weak too. So now that the ultimate comes in from Jogamo, he's going to realize that it's a very passive setup from Team Liquid on C.
Yeah, still holding towards Waterfall, still holding towards CT. I don't know how much Jaw's going to see. Gets, oh, he commits! Outrageous, goes for it on towards Kiko. I guess he had to at that point, but traded in. Now they can start fighting back towards the site. They're going to clear through site itself, excluding Trent. You can't forget about Trent, but it's Jonah P up in the feed, waiting for a victim. Was not outdone by Valen. And again, G2 on these bonuses, well, not even bonuses, half buys, these stingers come out on top.
I am scratching my head a little bit because it's oddly reminiscent
Why does it feel like
of Haven.
Yeah.
Right, Team Liquid come out with a great read. They know exactly what to do to beat G2. And then all of a sudden, it's G2 with a MasterCard Thrifty stealing away around.
That feels like a really big identifier, right? Starting to see what's happening towards B, these fast rotations. This is big info they're gathering, and they converted the round.
Exactly, abusing the breach Tejo there as well to push the player out of B main, knowing that there's a little bit of gap to work with so he can get the shots down to deal with that player.
Cover going out.
Now getting to the meat of things. Gonna see 2 Guardians, yeah, so Camo and Kiko on those.
This is the real test round for Team Liquid because they've changed their setup. Now it's Camo solo A. He's been solo in a couple of these rounds. It's all right, as long as he's good on that first contact. And the difference for Team Liquid is they're not showing really any forward presence. The only forward line they're holding is Camo over here, and you'd expect there to be 2 players behind him.
Would. You can see them wanting to identify where G2 currently are heading towards, getting nothing off the Teo utility, and Camo, that's enough. That's more than enough information to try and back away. You don't want to outstay your welcome. Falls deeper towards sight.
I imagine this time Baby Door is broken. So Team Liquid threatening maybe a little bit deeper of a trap play over towards that A site. G2 have decided just to embed Leaf.
This is such a lovely, almost blind dance with each other, right? These pieces of util invested here and there, trying to draw those rotations around the map.
These are the rounds G2 love to play. Get the perfect read against their opponents. They can use this clone to break the tripwire in the choke, but again, Team Liquid have a couple of guys here to stop them.
Yeah, we saw that heavier emphasis towards C, towards that B site, leaving just that one-man Camo over towards A. G2 trying to just brute force it, I guess, have to respect the util again. A good little stall, 20 seconds. Flank potential. They were towards C, didn't go CT.
They're gonna go A.
Through door, and they're gonna run it. They have to, I guess. They were getting no luck towards that B site, but they're running low on time. It's a little bit deadly. They don't have the full information, but they have to take a gamble.
It's a brilliant call from Valen, realizing the fast rotate from Team Liquid, but check this out. Jonah P stepping forward into stairs. He gets the first kill, but shut down quickly by Camo.
Nice trade there. Not going to let that get too far, but man advantage still with Liquid. Very deep post plants. Look at the util they have. Trent going to have util. Leaf has util. Valen can play a little closer, play a little further forward.
That's going to be such a problem from the space, though, and Valen doesn't clear him away.
And away you go, the salvos, but Nats! Look at a little vintage again, but time. Leaf can buy time. He does need to go nuclear, and the stance there. They're just running him down. Diffuse needs to come in. All good this time. Right?
Yeah, all good,
right?
all good.
Right? Don't do it to me again, but let's kind of talk about that round, because it felt like it was all in the shadows, right?
Yes.
These kind of brilliantly baited rotations, little util here, util there, Camo having to keep his nerve on that solo side hold. But then sticking the landing, that nice pivot at the end, so much happened that round.
Exactly right. G2's macro, I think, is perfect because now Valen has identified Team Liquid are sort of over-rotating to a certain extent, right?
Yes.
They're always getting bodies on site. Every time G2 have exec, they see 3, 4, sometimes 5 people. So he realizes, okay, with Leaf over towards A, we can move into that side of the map. The problem was, because that rotate went through Baby Door, because that door's been broken down, Nats is going to be a constant problem. And G2 playing full off-site opened up that angle for him to punish.
Spot on. Now, this does feel like glimpses of map 1, doesn't it? Almost a similar timeout as well, but
yes.
4-1. I think it's still quite hard to identify what's working here, and you almost have to reset your mindset a little, right? Maybe you haven't been facing as many neons on this map in a while, right? You've got to kind of re-bring that to the forefront, but I do want to see what they come up with, because it was the perfect cure to their woes on Haven, right? Those adjustments were fantastic. It left Liquid looking a little shallow on their ability to adapt, so does G2 have that same brilliance here?
I would imagine. So honestly, Josh RT has been so effective calling these timeouts, having the right read. And it's those identifiers, right? Where it's not just fixing the next round, it's solving the next 3, 4 rounds. We've seen so many of these, 4-player setups, these trap setups, front B towards C. But that last round was different, right? Finally, we saw a look with Camo playing up into rubble. There weren't players behind him that time around. But I think G2, if they do earlier scouting into A, that will sort of unlock whether or not it's going to be that neon trap setup BC or a heavier rubble fight.
And I just feel like I'm waiting with bated breath to see what the masterminds come up with, right?
Well, the thing is, right, they see the Neon Sun over towards A, they see the Kamek missiles as well, so it's time to speed up on a C hit, potentially.
But I've never seen Liquid go this deep. They've never gone this far. Leaf's in trouble. They disrespected Camo once more. Now slow down and held back. Trent and Jonah P with the revenge. Get the trades and get the man to the good and punish this aggression.
Now G2, they still got a minute and 10 seconds, and they've left Giacomo towards C. This is something they love to do. His TP isn't very deep, it's just to send him, you know, a little bit back towards sand. Wait for this re-aggro into mid. Nats is going to get the trade on through, but still, now G2, realizing that TLF maybe overextends a little bit, can move back into Jaw.
So they know where both players are now, right? They know where Nats is, they know where Kiko is. Jaw doesn't need to do too much, right? You just kind of hold the space you got, make sure you facilitate that cross, get that spike in safely.
It's a good angle.
Wait. Kiko's still on for this one. Yeah, he is! Kiko takes away Jaw, the safety net now removed. He's starting to feel a bit more threatened here. Has Nats closed in already? Is he on the flank? Where the hell have they gone?
And Kiko puts the smoke in center sight, so again, he could be moving around. He could be trying to flank. Sticking this plant here is risky.
That feels really unnerving, right? Your palms getting a little sweaty. Trent still close to sight. Same with Valen. They're not taking too many risks, and there's no reward that time. But can Nats again clutch up here? Valen on the other side. Plenty to play with. Lovely work from Valen. It felt so uncomfortable, but he finds crystal clear clarity at the end.
I was wondering who was going to be able to 1v1 Nats. It's going to be the IGL for G2. What a round. Again, cool early aggro piece from Team Liquid. Speeding up on the flank. I think G2 have done so well to wait and pause, feel out that aggression, that late swing in the middle of the rounds. They figured out Team Liquid's tendencies now.
That's a big round too, right?
Wow,
that's got to get them.
Neon abuser. I mean, you could too if you wanted.
Yeah, but not wrong. But a huge round for the momentum swing as well. Down to bits and bobs. The money not great for Liquid now. You can see how close these rounds have been, that it's broken so quickly. And of course, for the other side for G2, it's a nice mental reset, right? Starts feeling reminiscent of Haven. Starting to feel like you've got that nice approach, but in all honesty, though, Liquid also had a similar timeout, of course, in essence, because they can talk during the same one that G2 called. So for them here, I like them going aggressive in that timeout. It kind of keeps a little unknown. I don't mind them being disruptive in it.
And then to go for this more passive setup. Now, G2 have actually dodged this play. It's a fake hit into C. But what this ult does is it pulls Team Liquid. They had a 4-player trap going off the Cypher camera on A. And now the Spike can slowly walk in and move onto that side of the map as G2 leave Giacomo on the site. That's no problem. Actually, he's going to TP back over to A now.
Nats check the cam. Yeah, he does. There's something weird going on, right? Like, but you are being pulled around the map. It's just.
Sorry, I'm sorry. It's not Jaw that's going to be inserted B. It's going to be Jonah P.
But of course.
Yeah, there's always that late lurk.
But of course. Ooh, okay. Well, suddenly this round doesn't feel so kind of flat. You've got an invested ult here, but this time it runs out pretty quick, right? You got to get moving on this. If you want to get some value, you got to get going, and you're going to get nothing. And there's that flank. Whoa, that's crispy from Jonah P. Good trade right back in. Okay, look, I'm not out of this round yet. Make me a believer in something here, Liquid, because it's looking like it's going to be solid from G2. They needed a secure round. They're going to get a secure round.
Wow, and Kamek hits the ulti.
What?
I mean, that would have been real nice if there were more players left on site to maybe swing off of that, but that's a major investment.
That's huge.
In a 1v3.
Huh. A little surprised. I mean, I guess you could say Jonah P used theirs, but I mean, that sold the whole fake,
well,
right? That got you a whole round. That's fine. That's completely acceptable. This felt about 10 seconds too late.
Well, you got to remember, it's such a high-pressure situation, right? You know, life on the line in the tournament. You're already down one map. Sometimes you get in these situations where you feel like you've got to be a hero.
Sure. Going runabouts, having a wander, having a go at things.
Was baby door broken for him? That's nice.
Oh, that B site is looking absolutely vulnerable. Leaf can try and set this up and really secure it. This is going to be an absolute muddy round. Paddy's just going to go in for it. Trent's going to find Kamek. Good luck finding any of these kills. Leaf, Jaw, all in unison, and in the chaos, G2 looking composed. And Liquid left once again in a similar scenario, not having the answers. G2 now right back in the game at 4 apiece.
Can we check if that's the fastest round in Masters? Because that was maybe 25 seconds. Absolutely mental. Just sending it flying into the site after G2 run a fake exec, after they played all these slow rounds. Finally increasing the pace. I'm a little bit shocked too, because again, Team Liquid had 4 players here ready to flood into that site. But all chewed up by the Viper's pit, by the snake bite. Just not meant to happen.
That's a string around starting to form here, right? Like,
The similarities are eerie.
It's a bit unnerving, but this is, again, where we compliment G2, their depth, their ability to adapt, to identify. And I want to be able to say the same thing for Liquid, but so far haven't seen that. Their money has been an issue. Obviously here as well, down to the Sheriffs. And clean rounds are something you don't seem to get this often. A luxury you're not afforded.
Right.
And there is a player chilling over towards A. Matt's hanging out by the door.
Don't forget there's a Rolling Thunder here. Could find some kind of opener. There could be a chance, but look at their macro. G2's macro is just next level. It's all about leaving these inserts that hear all the rotates. They know Team Liquid don't have sticky feet. They're running all over the map. They're making noise. Valen is playing with his food right now. I'm not even kidding.
Liquid have no idea what's going on, right? This just feels really uncomfortable. Nat's still over towards A. There's a lurk already ahead of him. Valen behind them. Liquid are just looking lost. G2 getting a full grip on this game, barring that one shot coming in from Kamek. Cool, but the round's looking like it's G2 flavored from start to end.
Yeah, Team Liquid like, where's Leaf? Leaf's already killed Nats over on A. This guy could be coming in everywhere, and somehow he's just slipping around him like a ghost.
Yeah, this guy's just behind him the whole time. He's on a secret mission. Liquid just lost in this. Oh, that's lovely. Jaws on the site. They finally made it over here, but there's threats everywhere. George just gets to dance around on the site. They're going to need a bit more than this. There's still Trent's ult. There's still Util. You thought he was going to get close. That should really be the final hitter if needed. It's not. G2 continue their march back into this one.
Leaf's just in their walls. Like, no matter where they look, he's going to be there. The thing is, G2 have only played this map twice so far this year. They played against C9 in kickoff. They beat Trace on it here at the start of the event. So there's not a ton of tape, but what you'll see on their attacking side is always looking to embed these lurks. And you think about it, it's been a different player basically every round. First we saw was Jod, then it was Jonah, now it's Leaf. So you can't just rely on the fact of like, oh, I didn't see this one guy.
A Nats, for example.
Exactly. It's just very hard to read, and G2 have the book on Team Liquid.
It's genuinely like a pleasure to watch a team be able to pull that off and be able to kind of interchange that individual, be it, as said, Leaf one round, Jonah P another. It doesn't really matter. As you said, it could be any of them. So you never get any security in trying to identify where these players are. And G2's been incredibly slippery. We've been talking about their rotations. How are you meant to ever have faith in these site approaches? You always feel like they've got another player somewhere else. They're heading to another site. It's a long old rotation. Liquid, I feel like you almost have to go over-aggressive and take some space somewhere, you know, really stamp some authority on the map.
There's two schools of thought, right? One is go aggressive, always move forward, is sort of beat, so they can't be behind you. And the other is fall back into trap plays and stop over-rotating, right? Because since round one, they've just been full abandoning sites when they see G2's presence, and it worked in those early rounds when G2 were committing to the site hits. But G2 are no longer doing that, and it's really punishing Team Liquid.
And it looks like they're going back to a very early setup, right? That kind of, that's very passive towards A.
The 2C2B, that's just their pistol. Maybe a little bit more passive than that.
Forced away. Kiko actually decides to take matters into his own hands, and I kind of like it. Sometimes you've got to call up your own number. It is highly risky, but he's won them a fight on an extremity. We do see them now exploring towards this B site. They still have Leaf on the other side, so it's certainly not without an idea.
Look at Camo
God.
spot right in the
They
corner.
clear
No
it,
one's
right?
ready
They
for
clear
him.
it, right? How are they letting Camo get away with that? Two big kills, and suddenly Liquid looking like they're back with a sign of life here. And now just Leaf, who's been identified.
That is a nice setup. You never expect Neon just sitting in your corner with the drone going forward. But too much pushing against him. Team Liquid are on the hunt. And that's what I wanted to see, right? Finally, Team Liquid not overextending, right? It's the early aggressive play right from Kiko. He's going to be the hero, and then it falls back into the trap setup. You can do a little bit of both and still find those angles to punish a team.
Oh, it did feel a bit coin flick with Kiko though, didn't it? It was a bit like, you know, it's a risky look, and I don't mind it. I don't mind it once in a while, right? You've got to, as I said, call your own number up once in a minute. You can't feel like you're going to be losing every single fight that you swing on. But this then kind of puts G2 back, maybe in the same mentality of how they dealt with this first, but it's a further investment on player towards C. 3 bodies here now.
Yeah, going to be a quick refight here off of Breach Sun, presumably. Here it goes.
Oh my God, yeah, they're going in for it. They want to fight. They want to draw blood. They are after after it. G2 slip away into the night. How far would Liquid want to chase this? Surely no further.
Benefit of the double teleports. Valen can get out. John the Aura, no problem. And Leafs used this time, seeing 3 players on the C site to work into A. You know, knows the Cypher's going to be set up there, so G2 now testing out B, making sure no one's in that corner like in the last round. Could maybe even work to re-clear into sand, potentially.
They want to at least put the pressure on that, right? Kind of force away some of this aggression.
The fake re-clear into sand is nice, and TPing out into A, I love it.
Nice, oh, Nats is in actually a whole lot of trouble. He's going to try and run this side. There's no escaping it, looks like, but he's found a pocket to play from. And it's Camo to take away Jorgamo. But Madness on the site itself. Plant is not secure. Nats is still here. He's been left with this site. He's in control of it again. It doesn't matter the number or the odds. He's always good for it. Nats is outstanding at his job.
Give the man a raise. He's lifting his whole team up. Nats is sitting 16-6. I mean, this is vintage. This is peak. Back when this guy was on top of the world, he was doing stuff like this consistently, and now it's just another day at the office for him.
Unbelievable. God, we're getting more and more glimpses of it, right? You know, we saw it in that Sentinels game. We're seeing it here. The original icon of the role. It almost became like this cautionary tale of what could be, but it's been a while since we've seen it so regularly. But back into the things here. 6-5. G2 still at the door, but a good adaptation from Liquid after these timeouts, but it's pacey here from G2. Trent could be in trouble. They focused on fighting towards CT, but they've left a gap here. Trent trying to stay alive. How are they doing this? There's 4 players from Liquid on the site here. Trent's still standing. I have no idea how.
Just a mess of a round. Trent now calling in his teammates to get back into the site, using a site smoke for that, and he finds the opener.
Trent's been good in all the chaos before as well. Yamik and Nats trying to navigate a 2v4 is not easy. Yamik's still got a little bit of util to play in, but it's not much, and trying to disrupt that deep post plant, brutal. And yeah, you can see as to why. It's rough by all accounts. G2 close this one down, tying things up at 6 apiece.
Switching sides.
Absolutely blistering round from G2. Speeding into the site, overwhelming. And Madness as well. Team Liquid flying on in. These rounds are scrappy, they're messy, but Team Liquid are continuing to challenge against G2.
Yeah, didn't capitulate like map 1, managing to pull themselves back to 6 apiece, so a much closer affair here. But once again, we do have a little bit of a treat for you, hearing from Valen with the Omen player moment.
Nice day!
What's up guys, I'm Valen, and I'm the IGL for G2. Yeah, tough loss versus EDG in the previous match. They played a phenomenal game, so I'm not really intimidated or scared after that result. Key takeaway for me is just how pressuring they were playing. They were taking back a lot of map space, and so they were shrinking it on us. Felt like on that last map, Fracture, we were just running into a brick wall every round because they just kind of knew our intent. So for me, it's more so denying that information, and from there, you know, we just got to keep the defense on their toes.
Loves a bit of it. Yeah, oh, okay, all good, Leaf. All good for Leaf, lovely for him.
The fans here in Bangkok are phenomenal. I know you guys were cheering for EDG mainly, but every time I step on the stage, I feel like I'm at home because you guys are fans of the game, and I appreciate that. And to the fans back home, you know, long hours, you know, you guys are busy, but you're getting up early to watch us play. It means a lot for us. So we appreciate all the love back home, and we're gonna make you proud.
You know, you hear Valen talking about the fans in the venue here, saying how much he appreciates them, and I can hard vouch for this guy. After map 1 ended, all the other 9 players left to go to the back, you know, have a banana, go back, whatever you need. Valen walks to the front of the stage, raising his arms up, getting them hyped. He is living for moments like these. And now has to carry that momentum, use that energy to close things out for G2.
Okay, now we get to see that neon on this side as well, right? This was meant to be the thing that garnered all our attention, that kind of maybe gave us a reason to believe in this Liquid approach.
Yeah, and I love the switch up coming in. Again, the hard prep into G2. G2 don't play the Sentinel, so you don't need the Euro clone to break the Vise wall or the Cypher util, anything like that. What they can use Camo for is very fast fights again, maybe even looking into fighting towards spawns pretty consistently. But in this round, G2 ready with a defensive fault line to catch out the front B aggro.
All missiles away.
Okay, we're going to be in straight for a brawl, apparently. Leaf, how are you looking so calm under all that? Just walks in, takes two. Now I'm out, boys. Wild.
Just brutal. The spike was in front B as well, so it's not like G2 or Team Liquid rather can speed up into the C site. Kiko's just going to toss out that top spite smoke to threaten some kind of a walk in there. But G2 have already backed away. They're happy to play the numbers advantage, shrink together. It's only going to be Jaw left on that forward line towards A.
Here.
Yeah, I love this. Taking no chances, it looks like, for G2, right?
It's always with numbers advantage with them. Very fundamental gameplay. What it does mean is it offers a lot of space to the attackers.
I'm okay with it. I think G2 know, what space is given, how they want to approach it. Leaf, trying to find a little bit of gap to play from, and he's actually done really well in this reposition here, and he can kind of check. No one slipped through. No one's now trying to sneak in towards B. I'm good. He's just checking. He's just making sure, but...
Hold on.
Okay, but now the timing. Speaking of that...
He slipped in.
Just after Leaf checked this. Oh, that's gutting. Okay, that's going to be heard. That's an additional body towards CT.
They're going to stall the plant for the kill.
It's fine, it's fine. Kiko going to find Jonah P and get them that security through Waterfall to be able to focus towards CT, but there's a flank on the way, and Kiko makes an absolute meal of it. It's Nats and Padatek now feeling a little bit surrounded, and rightly so. Leaf on the swing, can't do it. Valen looking like he can. The new showman himself. And G2 taking away another chance here for Liquid to show off that Neon.
Yeah, that strong opening fight just sort of neuters the round from TL. Kiko maybe found that timing to get the kill. And G2 responding very nicely with a flank of their own. And it's not super common that you'll see G2 go for a lot of early fights. With the Breach Stun especially on this map of Lotus, a lot of times they'll hold on to that ability for, stalling out your hits, maybe looking to use it for some re-clears. So I think even just bringing that in as a look versus TL catches them a bit off guard on the pistol.
It's going to start feeling a little uphill for Liquid. Sheriff's going to be coming out. They wanted to feel it potentially competitive, but G2 look really comfortable in these sort of rounds. Again, it was some of the main rounds they won from Haven. This time, Camo going to start things off with a bang. Takes away Jaw, but Leaf controls that B site. No one's slipping through here for Palitek.
Door open, trying to push into Jonah. He's got the Guardian, so time to flash and fall back into sight, calling the reinforcements.
He looks good, though. He doesn't look like he's going to be swamped here. He does. Re-peek into Nats, maybe. A little bit of a wake-up call. You can't take this too lightly. And they've wrapped the site, trying to gap close towards stairs. Handled again. It gets dangerous because of this. Camo's starting to hit some shots.
I got Spike.
1 minute to play with. Spike is in hand. He's going to need 4 kills in total to make this one doable. And Valen could be anywhere.
He hasn't found a gun either.
Spike planted.
He's not. But that Sheriff rang true, and it might be ringing again. He gets around the corner. Paranoia primed. He does the dance. He gets away to safety. Another step. Camo looking back. Valen breaks his heart. Team Liquid can be kept down on 6 as G2 make it up to 8.
That one stings too. Team Liquid think they have a moment to get themselves back into the round. It started with Camo here. Again, his whole team dies if he doesn't get that kill. They're all stunned. But he got in front of it. Then after bringing it into the one-on-one, he was pounding his desk. He was not pleased. Faltering in that moment.
It's because you can feel it, right? You can feel how close that was. Almost tangible, pulling off what felt like a near-on miracle, but what it is now a nice bonus for G2. Guardian Stingers, odds of end, sure, but they've got a lovely little lead here. Liquid need to start cooking now. Look how many bodies are on this site.
Yeah, Still have the stun.
Christ.
When this door opens, everyone's stunned.
Oh god, door's
Look at
not
the
stuck.
missiles!
It's gonna be stunned. Is there any way out for them? It's Coward to take down Jonah P. So actually, Liquid standing tall for now, but G2 looking a little bit tricky on this one. I like it. Trying to get under their skin.
Ammo steps up to be the hero in another round. But Team Liquid in a tough spot. They don't have a lurk. They don't have much space. With G2 holding the fort down. Good shot from Kiko. Will equalize.
Leaf, he's just about to walk away, but he's now gonna have to keep this in mind, right? Valen got Nats. Valen is in the smoke. Valen is in the smoke. Someone, please don't let Valen get away with this. He's such a cheeky little player. He'll take those high risks. And Liquid looking like they're stalled out here. Yeah, they're pausing for a second, waiting for that util to come back up. But why do I feel G2 are a bit naughty about this one? The timing might just be right. Valen got caught looking away, it felt like, but Trent's still standing, as is Leaf. Numbers could be an issue now, down to a 2v3. And Leaf's recovered an absolutely prized possession. They're not looking this way at all. Surely someone's going to keep an eye on this at some point. How close can Leaf get? Okay, Kiko's having a glance now. Shoulders it for a second. Gotta have some distraction. Help him out here. Trent's the one to find it. Trent can try and clear the corners here, but the likelihood, the chances are starting to dwindle. 6 HP and a Sheriff, not quite the same impact as Leaf with the Vandal. And I think we know how this is gone. Kiko gonna find it. That's gonna be 2 standing. That was a bonus.
Yeah, it was a bit of a spooky one, getting stalled out for so long in tree. Yeah, I was spooked.
I mean, no, I'm with you.
I was spooked for TL, but genuinely, the fact they didn't actually fall to the stun missile combo going into back rubble, dealt with Valen here on site. You need to have solid closes on rounds like this. Carrying over 2 rifles, it's gonna be all right for them.
They just look a little dour, don't they? If you're looking at Liquid, they don't look pumped up even in their wins. I mean, you're probably not proud of that one. You're not walking away going, great first buy there, boys, loving that, more of that. But, you know, I want to see them get a little lively here. Get pumped up into this. Because already you can see that first hand, that first move shown with that Viper's Pit towards B.
Bit odd, throwing up the neon wall onto C, trying to fake an exec, but no one running on through. Really, Team Liquid, I think they're expecting some kind of reaction from G2, some sort of forward fighting after this Viper's Pit went down, but it hasn't really happened so far. Okay, Team Liquid hear a Teho drone over towards C, maybe think that's going to be the strong side of the map, but G2 are already starting to shift into an anticipated A exec.
I almost feel like you'd want to double back towards C after hearing that Teho drone. You show a little bit of presence towards A. Oh, okay, they've been almost over-awarded. George looking lost or like a little out of it on that one, maybe not fully focused on what was coming their way. Nats has got a great lurk here, but
exactly.
Do they now call the retreat, right? He's in a good position, but it's not super forward.
The thing is, because no one stepped out into sand space, Team Liquid are reading that G2 have rotated through spawn quickly into A. Once you go down in numbers, those are really your 2 calls. Are you bolstering up the defense on A, or are you looking to scout for some kind of info? I think this is great macro from Team Liquid. Quietly go into the C-pop here.
Nice read. And very disciplined from Nats there. It's not once maybe the temptation to take that space early would have obviously been there, but again, I liked it, waiting for everyone to come over.
10 seconds
No. We're going to be able to plant, right? We're not going to be stalled out, right? You can see them there like, guys, do not let Waterfall go any other way than ours right now. Let me get that spike down and then we can talk, but they're all going to come down and keep G2 at bay.
Wow, Team Liquid throwing everything into that. The firing squad for Waterfall. Now G2 on the approach.
They're up by ramp though. This is really risky. G2 clearing house. G2 break down the door, sweep through the sights. And where the hell was Liquid in that? Looking asleep at the wheel.
It's a massacre. G2 without a duelist. It doesn't matter. I've got to see that one more time because that just takes all the wind out of Liquid's sails.
I'm amazed that they played so dedicated towards the site. They were so risky at that point.
They had the breach ult to play off of, so you'd think they could have done something with that. But then once they didn't fight forward into water, they were just kind of fish in a barrel. so odd.
Oh.
You can see tons of that utility coming in from the breach Tejo, forcing them off the lines they're holding, forcing them off those complementary angles. And then all of a sudden you have to look two different ways. G2, the timings they're taking out into the site. Punish it perfectly.
Pause for Liquid here. And again, if I'm looking at the round, imagining it's frustrating after what felt like a very good read. Nats with that very late lurk, kind of pulling those rotations towards A. And then again, him finding that nice timing to take the site. Now the post plan is going to be a real frustration, I can imagine. And especially at such a pivotal moment, right? This is going to put their money in question, and then it's double digits for G2. And then you're starting to think, well, they've also got map 1. This could be a 2-0, right? This is when it all compounds.
Yes. And you're also thinking about the ultimate cycling going on through because they invested the breach ult in that last round. Okay, Team Liquid, you have no real power ults coming up. You're still pretty far away for Cammy K. It's bad when your opponents have a pet name for you and they're beating you.
Rough.
And it's worse when G2 have the ult cycles coming in, the Yoru, the Breach, the Tejo. Like, you win this round here from G2, and you are set up beautifully to snowball that through the rest of it.
And we have to stress, this is life on the line, right? This is staying in this. Elimination between these two. So if Liquid let this slip between their fingertips, they only have themselves to blame, as G2 looking sharper and sharper by the second. Camo going to take the space, though. Fallon the one to deal with it, and this is down to pretty much Camo and Kiko trying to make something out of nothing, but it's controlled again. G2 at the helm, looking unfazed by Liquid.
The kills went in all the right places for G2 as well. We've got Dimensional Drift, we've got a tail ult coming online. G2 are primed and ready for this next round. But this will have been the one Team Liquid were seriously talking about. Hold some good rounds. Post-planting with Initio. Finding ways to unlock Nats as well.
I'm so sorry, buddy.
Hey, look, it's for the greater good of the round, but we are into this one and it's pacey, at least as an early start, right? A show of force.
Yeah, it's a funky one, right? Trying to show a lot of presence into A, quickly followed by this 3-walk into B.
Is this what we're going for, Trent? Oh my god, he's a lucky boy today. They were, oh no, Kamek! He's just walked into his death. Jonah P on the punish. It is traded by Nats, but they're feeling desperate, and desperation reeks throughout this. Jaw gonna find Patatek just wandering away. What is this?
What's going on? There's fights on two fronts, and G2 are winning everywhere. Camo gets the spike, but he has to be a hero for the team. He gets the burst. Camo staying alive here, baiting out shots, but now it truly is him against the world.
1v3. They know where you are, and they're closing in. G2 wanting to put Liquid in their graves as Camo tries to shift around. 2 on one side and 1 on the flank. You give him a 1v1 though. You're playing a risky game. You've got to tighten up here, because Camo could absolutely do this, but Nerve's starting to play a factor, you can see it. Trying to toy with the time, and he's got the angle now, hold on. Valen joins up, and they double swing! G2 fighting together! Not letting that slip, not allowing Liquid in the door. That is another round for them, and Liquid, what was that round?
Just the final glimmer of hope, it felt like, going away. Kamek tried to take that timing, punish the player he knew was out in B, but G2 have been playing together on that site. Weren't gonna let that happen. It's just heartbreaking for Camo again. I feel, right, he had that one moment earlier against Valen that just slips away.
Close.
Even there, he had isolated fights, getting chip damage, but couldn't quite finish off a kill.
That's the difference here, isn't it? You can't win all on your own. You can see when maybe Nats has a good game or two, but to ask that every single time is just not going to happen, and G2 won't let it happen. This could be 12. This could be match point coming in. And Jaw wants to go for a walk. Takes himself forward, and he's not alone. You're rarely alone with G2. It looks like they all swing, and they take a stand. Valen willing to brawl out on it. Takes out Patatek too.
2 kills there is just unbelievable. Team Liquid having to use the Tejo drone to re-clear this just to secure the spike. And G2 were set up in front mid. They could pinch these players trying to rotate.
I kind of like that. Do they go for the pinch on it? The timing's everything. It's good. They're at least going to get another on this one. They're keeping the man up to the good here, and they get the information to boot.
And when you're looking at this retake. Jonah P. Stun's going to be coming back. Jaw's got full utility. G2 have all the pieces with the scouting too of the dimensional drift to get things going.
G2 on the verge, on the precipice, it feels like of punching in that 12th round, but still, Nats and Kiko gonna need to go big. Nats tries to get techie with a little slippery towards the smoke. Kiko, no! Oh, it's heartbreaking, you can see it. It's falling apart at the seams for Team Liquid. Nerves really starting to hit home right now, as they are now gonna be 1 round away from going home.
G2 are just catching every single break right now. Every little angle that Team Liquid might have to get themselves back in a round, and it just narrowly is missed. Hitting that shot's absurd from Kiko, but he couldn't keep it carrying through to the end of the round. Now they're going to be faced off against 12. The ticket home around the corner if they can't come back in this.
Hey man, let him get it. Hey man, let him get it.
Let's go.
Leafs on 21-11 as well. He's looking sharp today. Liquid, do or die time. All on the line now. And it's not been a pretty half so far. Why does this position feel like it's going to work? Oh, of course it does!
Because it is!
Oh, Chocobo draws first blood.
And look where Jonah P is too with the Rolling Thunder ready. If they try to exec out here, they're going to get killed.
What are the options? What are the options? That will help. Leaf gonna go down, but now the pressure starts to mount. Nats in position, trying to hold that back line. Finds his fight and takes down the man. But Trent with a fight back in towards site. Spike now loose. Kamek and Nats called upon. And all those moments for Nats, they were great to get them here, but they may all be for nothing. They bait him in. G2 setting the record straight. 13-7. America's keeping their hope alive.
G2 get a little bit of vengeance for Americas and for Sentinels, shutting down Nats, taking out Liquid. Not gonna let EMEA be on top 2 times in a row. And look at Valen out there, feeling the crowd, getting loud. He's such a calm guy.
Yeah.
But in these big moments on stage, you can see that energy just sort of seep into him. And he blasts it out too.
To the other side of things for Liquid as well, given a moment there, gotta be a sour moment stepping from that stage after what could have been, but all
Yeah, X gone and Shell gone.
on stage, G2, bloody hell, what a performance. I mean,
And we have all
again,
the first
in my mind,
seed.
as much as it is the 5 on the server, the coaching staff in
Except
this
for,
team, given them ways and means, time
for
and time
Pacific.
again. How often were we saying, oh, Liquid with a good start, that timeout hits, and then G2 look just untouchable.
Coming with the perfect read. The brain trust on G2 is just next level. And it was clear that Team Liquid had done their homework. We're coming in with very hard antes. But like you're saying, timeout comes in and they know exactly what to do. This is a team with excellent macro. It really sets them apart from the rest. And it was on full display today. Is that Naruto?
Yeah, it looks like a Naruto run across the stage. I love that. Thank you, whoever actually.
On the way to Area 51, I guess.
Damn, what vault did you bring that
Pull
out?
that one back.
Damn. Oh man, but again, like as much as we can like talk about Nats the great game against like Sen, he did have some like decent impact here. 20-15, it was solid, right? It really was, but it's just not enough. I think a lot of what was working against someone like Sentinels just wasn't working with G2. G2. By the end of it, you could see them really in motion, right? That machine of G2 was working. Very few mistakes, very much playing together. The amount of just like good spacing, good trading, everything, those fundamentals, spot on.
The timing of the retakes, too. You remember the round that sort of broke Team Liquid when they had the numbers advantage and exec'd onto the C site. And then all of a sudden, G2 down in a 4v5. Piece those timings of the utility and the entrance actually into the site, even without a duelist, just flawlessly in order to steal it away.
And I hope we see more of these looks from G2, right? Yes. I want to see more of that. I want to see them start building on this? Because I think we've seen the lower side of it when it doesn't look good, but we've also started to see the better parts of G2 now, and I want to see that continue through the rest of this tournament.
I think it was clear that today, compared to that EDG series, Giacomo playing way better, especially on the first map. Leaf taking over here on Lotus. When those individuals are hitting, the supporting staff of G2 is always going to be there. That is when this team is at its most lethal.
Love to see it. Love to see this side at full strength now, at least kind of building towards it, right? It's an arduous road here, and it doesn't get any easier as they move forward. However, we have a treat for you. We're discussing the new showman. Valen will be joining us for the Verizon post-match interview.
กลับมาอีกครั้งหนึ่งแล้วนะครับผมสำหรับการสัมภาษณ์นั่นเองครับโอ้โห You've got the entire crowd in your hands.
Yeah, it feels amazing. Thank you guys.
สุดยอดมากๆเลยนะครับผมตอนนี้นะครับก็มาอยู่กับผมแล้วก็อยู่กับ Valen นะครับผมจาก G2 Esports นะครับที่เพิ่งคว้าชัยชนะไปคำถามแรกเลยคือทีมของเขาเนี่ยมาจาก Ascensions นะครับผมและตอนนี้เขาขึ้นมาอยู่ในจุดที่เขาเป็นหนึ่งเดียวของอเมริกาแล้วในการแข่งขันครั้งนี้เลยอยากรู้ว่าเขามั่นใจขนาดไหนว่าทีมของเขาเนี่ยจะทำได้ในการแข่งขัน Masters Bangkok ครับ First of all, Valen, congratulations on your amazing performance. It was great. It was really entertaining to watch, and of course the fans loved it.
Oh yeah.
I just want to ask you, I mean, we know that the majority of your team ascended from Ascensions, right? And right now you are the representative of the entire region of America. So I would love to know, how confident are you about your team right now in performing in the future stages of Masters Bangkok?
Yeah, I mean, we started off on one of the hardest roads ever, having to go through Ascension. So we've been through a lot of adversity in these years, and we've always came out on top. So how can I not be confident with the group of guys I go on stage with every day? And also with the crowd on our side every time we play. You guys give me so much confidence. So thank you guys so much. Playing here from, you know, going from Ascension and getting into the international lands is a dream come true for me. And so being able to do this, you guys are fulfilling my dream. So thank you so much. And I just can't wait to keep playing, man.
Wow, what an amazing answer. I love it. The crowd love it. So let me translate it for the crowds back at home as well. สำหรับผมเองนะครับก็รู้สึกเหมือนกันว่าทีมของผมที่มาจาก Ascension เราผ่านร้อนผ่านหนาวมาเยอะมากๆนะครับจนตอนนี้เรามาอยู่ถึงจุดสูงสุดที่ผมก็รู้สึกว่าเฮ้ยเราทำได้อีกเหมือนกันแล้วก็ภูมิใจในทีมทุกคนมากถ้าวันนี้เราทำได้วันพรุ่งนี้เราก็ต้องทำได้เช่นเดียวกันและที่สำคัญคือรู้สึกว่าตอนนี้ที่มายืนอยู่ตรงเนี้ยเหมือนเป็นความฝันเลยเพราะว่าทุกคนที่มาเชียร์เขาแม้ว่าจะเป็นทางบ้านหรือที่มาเชียร์ถึงสเตเดียมให้กำลังใจเขามากๆกับเสียงเชียร์ทุกเสียงและนี่ก็เหมือนว่าเป็นความฝันของเขาที่มันเป็นจริงครับ They love you, man.
We love you too.
All right, all right. สำหรับคำถามที่2นะครับผมก็ง่ายๆเลยตอนนี้มันมีแต่ละภูมิภาคแล้วในรอบ Playoffs อยากรู้ว่าเขาอยากเจอภูมิภาคไหนที่สุด And as we all know, we do have each teams from each region. Which team do you want to face, or which region do you want to face off the most?
You know, for me, we lost to EDG in the Swiss stage. So I want to play EDG in the playoffs.
All right นะครับก็อยากเจอกับ EDG นะครับเนื่องจากว่าเราเคยแพ้มาอยากลองมารีแมตช์กันสักตั้งครับผมง่ายๆเลยทีเดียวนะครับและนั่นก็คือบทสัมภาษณ์นะครับผม That was an amazing performance. It was really entertaining. Congratulations for the win and best of luck for you in the playoffs.
Thank you.
The thing is, you really want to meet EDG, right? We'll get to see that very soon if that will be the case or not. But as of right now, I'll leave you to your fans and we'll go on to the draws.
Thank you.
All right, all right. I am super excited right now for the draws. But in the meantime, I am back up here again and I will pass it on to you, Victoria.
Thank you so much. Yeah, we have the final draw of Masters Bangkok. It's playoffs. It's as straightforward as it gets. 2-0 teams that left first play only against 2-1 teams that were today. And that's it. Everything's fair game.
ครับก็สำหรับกฎกติกาง่ายๆนะครับผมสำหรับทีมที่ชนะ 2-0 นะครับก็จะไปเล่นกับ1ในทีมที่เพิ่งชนะมาในรอบเมื่อกี้นี่ก็คือ 2-1 นั่นเองครับผม Thank you very much. Please proceed on to the draws, Victoria.
We'll start with our first seeds.
สำหรับซีดแรกนะครับผม
EDG.
โอ้ EDG เลย I'm excited for who's going to be playing up against them too.
We'll find out soon, I promise. All right, and the other match.
Don't we love the crowd?
I
Victoria?
do so much. All right, these teams have been waiting a few days, so EDG's opponent.
Oh, everybody's like, let's see.
T1.
Still very spicy.
I mean, they're all going to be spicy.
Of course.
Such good teams. So, obviously, G2 play Vitality. There you are.
There we go. Do you have any other remarks that you would want to inform the fans back at home as well?
Schedule order to be determined. We have 2 days. Vitality and EDG have been waiting a few days. We'll wait 2 more, but we have our matchups, and I mean, it's as exciting as it gets pretty much. So I'm excited.
I am excited too, and thank you so much, Victoria, for the draw. สำหรับวันนี้นะครับก็นี่คือ draw
Anis versus
มีเท่านี้
West
นะครับใครที่อยากดูนะครับก็ติดตามรอชมทางโซเชียลมีเดียของพวกเราได้เนาะแต่อย่างไรก็ตามครับเดือดแน่ๆนะฮะ and that for us will be it for the stage from now, and I'll pass it back to all of you and enjoy the night.
Well, we have our top 4 and we're now joined by Val and the IG of G2. Thank you very much for being here. Congratulations. I know you wanted EDG, but you might have to wait a little bit. You got Vitality. How do you feel about that?
They're one of the best. Like, I mean, every team here is amazing, but I know Vitality has a lot of star players and they look phenomenal on stage. So it's going to be exciting playing against Les and Durkee. I mean, some of the best performers in VCT. So it's going to be a very difficult match for us, but, you know, we're a good team too. So let's see what happens.
Yeah. What are you most excited about for the playoffs now? You get a little bit of time off. You get to prep going into it.
Yeah, we get to fix some of the mistakes that we had throughout the Swiss stage. I mean, we saw some weak maps from G2, so having this extra time to be able to patch that up and fix it helps us a lot. And also gaining the extra life back, not being an elimination right away, kind of puts the weight off the shoulders a little bit. So, you know, playoffs is where the real competitors and the real top performers get to show off. So hopefully we can be one of them.
Yeah, what happened between that match you lost against EDG, getting stomped out in the last match, to then turn around and look so dominant today?
I would say versus EDG, I think we just weren't prepared for their playstyle, and we give a lot of credit to EDG because the way we were playing some of our Fracture and our Bind back in America is people were not really testing us to force us to play slow. And when we played fast versus EDG, they had proper responses at every single level. So it felt like we had to play a slower game versus them. Because, yeah, we were just running into a brick wall every round on Fracture and Bind. So the Americas teams, we kind of just run over on those maps. EDG not so much, so we're going to have to kind of go back to the drawing board on that.
Also, what happened to make you forget that you actually won a map against them? I saw your tweet.
I mean, did you guys see the second and last map? I mean, mentally it felt like I just bombed out of the tournament, honestly.
Oh, no. I mean, good on you guys for bouncing back. Good on you. And also, pistols. We're good at them again, eh?
Yeah, today we finally won a pistol. I mean, last series we got 0. So as soon as we won the first pistol on Haven on like the second half, we're like, oh guys, we're not cursed. Like, let's do this. Let's win.
Talk to me about the impact Josh is finding in these timeouts, because both maps this series, you have a slow start against Liquid, lose the majority of the first 4 or 5 rounds. He calls a timeout, you make a macro adjustment, and you dominate from then on out.
Yeah, in terms of like the early timeouts, I feel like it's not even changing up the game plan too much. I think we're just having these micro mistakes in our game plan that's letting them get like the 1% over us and taking these rounds. So he's timing out and just making sure that all the small details are hitting, but also, like you said, if we are playing a macro game incorrectly versus these teams, he knows how to fix that. So credit to Josh RT, like those timeouts were definitely crucial for us to
big
save the half.
Big up. We do love a Josh RT timeout. What we don't love is saying goodbye to teams, but unfortunately we have to say goodbye to DRX and Team Liquid. Are you surprised that at least in the first match that T1 were able to beat DRX?
Yeah, it's hard to say surprised because both teams are so insane, but I know regionally DRX was like 7-0. I heard it.
Yeah.
So, you know, eventually T1 is bound to win one, but both teams are incredible, and DRX, I thought would be a team that could contend to win this tournament too. So it's sad to see them go early, but that's the nature of the 8-team tournament like this.
It had to be a lot of pressure for them as well. You guys had your first time coming into a tournament as NA's #1 seed since when you beat Optic in 2022.
Yeah.
What's that been like to kind of have that added pressure that I'm sure DRX is experiencing too?
Yeah, added pressure in terms of the seeding. I feel like we didn't really feel because we finally won a tournament, so we had a lot of confidence coming into this.
Okay.
And it's definitely helpful, you know, having the early advantages in the early matches to like pick your side, pick which side you want to veto and all that. So it just gave us a small advantage early in the tournament.
The expectations never got to you?
No, I feel like we're a team that, you know, people expect out of us. People put pressure on us. I mean, there's drama on Twitter with like us and Sen, but we just try to
Just keep it to the CEOs. You're just playing your game.
we just try to zone all the noise out, and it is difficult. Like I even remember Kong saying like, you know, the love from the fans is an honor and a burden, and I also feel like that. I think a lot of competitors feel like that.
You guys got to get your quote game up. EDG's got some crazy
wish.
poetic
Wait, no,
stuff.
you're up there. You're up there.
I'm-
You had some good ones too.
Yeah, I'm trying to like be cool with my vernacular, but I don't know if I can compete with Kong. Like that.
You got a couple days off to
You
prep
do.
some
That's the
one-liners.
prep.
And also, I'm glad you said you're looking forward to playing against Durka because I'm sure a different team, but I'm sure you remember the way everything that went down at Champs as well.
Yeah.
I know that he kind of also carries a little bit of what the Fnatic boys are feeling,
Yeah.
maybe wanting to continue their win streak against you. So how deep does this run?
I mean, yeah, in terms of getting revenge versus Durka, he did like knock us out of champions, and I still remember that bind round at 12-11.
Oh
like,
no.
Like it haunts my dreams. But so yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, it might give us some extra motivation playing against Durka, but both teams are going to come out swinging. So
I'm very excited for that matchup. What are you excited for that as well, Mimi? How do you think about the other one as well of EDG, the EDG game too?
EDG T1 should be interesting. It's already an EDG that looked so good. I think people thought they would be worse than they were last year at Champions, but clearly incredible in the group stages and definitely a threat for the rest of this tournament. Versus a T1 that's just kind of a complete surprise to make it here over DRX.
Yeah, and I'm sure you're aware the winner of this tournament, you know, won't just win the title, but will have an MVP award as well. And the bracelet, there'll be another bracelet. So who on your team you feel like has the most aura, can kind of pull off the MVP bracelet? Because Kong doesn't wear his, actually.
you know, I want to give. You know, if we were to win the championship, and I don't like that would be a dream itself, but I would want Trent to get it.
Oh yeah?
Because I've been teammates with him for so long, and I know how much work he puts in, and he, you know, everyone wants to win so bad on my team, but I just want to see that young kid just get a bracelet for himself. So
He'd wear it as well?
Oh yeah, he'd wear it. He'd rock it. He'd rock it well.
Okay, you heard it from Valen. You heard it from Valen. Thank you so much for joining me. Have
Thank
a
you.
nice couple of days off. Thank you as well, Mimi, for being here. And thank you for you guys at home for watching. We will be taking a little bit of a break, but we will be back with playoffs on Thursday. So have a nice rest, and we'll see you then. We have never seen this inter-regional clash on stage. The stakes are very simple. You win, you're going to playoffs, and if you lose, you're going home.
Ton of experience in a big opening kill.
Buzz finding Kinman off the rip, up and over the top he goes, lands on the box, and Mako goes down. This round is all Buzz all day long. We are tied up at 7-7. Spike does get dropped, Spring's able to find one. Kinman trying to scale forward, trying to take some space, but cannot. Bringing flashback, however, will be able to stem the bleeding, stem the tide. Gonna spot them both, and he's gonna be able to nail them. Bane freeing, not sure what just hit him. Cam cleared out, Mako asleep at the wheel. Wanting to hound them down, shot onto one, but Media finds the other, a 4K for him. 13-11, T1 take down DRX.
That is a statement win for this T1 team.
Value has been found. Mako going to be taken down. Stacks looks for a little bit more. Izu gets a second. Woo. 7 seconds remaining. Rotates around towards.
Okay. Do I want to play POE? That's the question. Actually, no. I think that's gonna be it for today. Yeah, that's gonna be it. I'll see you. Probably tomorrow. Anyways, stay safe and bye bye.
I found the life.